Hello, 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 everyone. It's Millissa Jayne. Welcome back to MJ Live. Today we have an amazing show ahead. We have a special guest, as you know. It's the Intentional Millionaire. Wow. We have a show ahead of us today. Listen, guys, just get ready for some real good information, which is probably going to change your life if you really follow the steps correctly. So let us get into a little bit of music while we just share it. We'll give you a chance to share it to a few people. All right, so let me know that you're here by dropping a comment in the chat. Let me know that you're here when I welcome you. And then we're going to get right into it. But I'm going to play just a little bit of music while we do our little shares. All right, guys? So feel free to do that. And I'm going to stay right here for you. Let me know if you can hear the music. Let me know if it's too loud or if it's too quiet. Let me know if you are hearing it. Welcome, welcome, Getty Radio Show. Can you hear the music? Welcome, guys. Come on in. Let us share. B9 Nizzle Stocks Crypto Land Invest. Okay, guys, let's get into it. Let's learn. Tell a friend. What's the levels like? What's the levels like? Yeah. All right, we're going to be starting in about a minute and a half. Okay, guys? As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and put up my little timer. We're going to come back in about 1 minute. Hey, Bernard S. I'm about to freestyle. Facebook user, come on over to YouTube. We're jamming here. That's how we like to do it, guys. David Muir, welcome David Muir. Come on over to YouTube if you don't mind. Come over to YouTube. Lady Serenity, come on over. She's Star by Thunder, welcome. Come on in, guys, let's get started. We got about 30 seconds and we're gonna get started. Welcome, welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. Okay. All right, guys. Welcome, welcome to MJ Live. We're going to get into a really great show today with our special guest, the Intentional Millionaire. You guys saw the flyers, you saw the information out there. He's going to be sharing some really great information. And we're actually going to bring him up right now and let him say hello to you before we do some other things. So let's bring in the Intentional Millionaire. Hey, the Intentional Millionaire, how are you?
Hey, how's it going there, Millissa Jayne? How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. And how about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm here to represent on the MJ show.
That's
know they've made some initials, you know. MJ for Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, and Magic Johnson. So
that's true.
Now we got Millissa Jayne, so we rock and roll.
That's very true. Thank you so much for that. So what we're going to do then, everybody in the chat, please go ahead and say hello to the Intentional Millionaire. Say hello to him. He's our special guest today. He's going to bring the fire. He's going to bring the information today that we all need. And I'm so excited to actually bring the Intentional Millionaire as my very first guest in 2022. So you're very, very special, the Intentional Millionaire.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make sure I bring drop some information, some good juice, so we can start our 2022 off right.
Absolutely great. All right, I'm going to drop you down for a little bit, and then we're going to go through just a few little preliminary things. So I'll see you in a little bit, Intentional Millionaire, okay?
Okay.
All right. All right, guys, I have a few things to share with you before we have our one-on-one with the Intentional Millionaire. He's going to be showing us how to get started with our own portfolio. As you know, he's an intentional millionaire, and he's a millionaire. All right, so I want to show you just a couple of things today as we get started. So I want to thank you all, first of all, for just rocking with me. I love that terminology. Thank you so much for rocking with me. You are part of MJ Nation, and we are here to to make the world a better place by giving great information and sharing good content with you all. I want to thank you for all your all the subscribers. I want to thank all of the sponsors, which I'm going to talk to in a little bit. I want to just thank you for being here, because there's a lot of places that you could be right now, but you are choosing to be here. So again, my name is Millissa Jayne. Some people call me MJ, and we are here. The main reason for my channel is to teach the not so tech savvy with some of the social media, some of the live streaming and digital marketing tech parts, but I also teach it in a very fun and techy way, in an easy way. So each week I bring you tips, and we also will have a special guest. And as a matter of fact, my January schedule is so chock-a-block filled that it's just going to be so amazing. There are some people that have reached out to me for personal one-on-one sessions to help them with their social media. So if you feel like doing that, then feel free to reach out to me. So this time, let's go into our sponsors. I want to thank all of our sponsors for my show so far. Big special thanks to Lascious Journey. She's my #1 sponsor. Big thank you to sponsor Lascious Journey. Go and check her out at the same YouTube channel. Big thanks to Shayla, the mysterious Shayla. Always is supporting the show. I don't know who she is, but I'm glad for her support. Big shout out to Gail Lockett. Of course, she's the moderator of all moderators. Big shout out to her, and a thank you to her. Shout out to Carl Sinclair from Syntech Calling. He's also sponsored the show. Big shout out to the Intentional Millionaire. He was also one of my early sponsors. I always remember to put that in here, and he's right here today, which is awesome. Big shout out to MSE Network. That's megasourceentertainment.com. We will be talking to Rich Live, who is the CEO of MSE Network, in a couple of weeks. And then also big shout out and thank you to award-winning international recording artist Novelty, big sponsor. Big shout out to Sophia Sharif. I think I saw her in the chat. Big shout out to Sophia Sharif she's my most recent sponsor. And also big shout out to contest winner What Can I Change, and contest winner Marlene TV. All right, so those are my sponsors. Big shout out to all of you. It's so nice to be sponsored. All right, let's big shout out to a few more people that just arrived in the chats. We have Geddy Radio. We have B9 Nizzle. Let's learn, he says. Geddy, of course. Bernard S. Great to see you, Bernard S. And also David Muir in Facebook. Come on over to YouTube if you can. Let's see who else is here. Smart Aviation. Welcome, Smart Aviation. It's good to see you. And also, she stole my thunder. Who else haven't I recognized? Edward Smart. Welcome to Edward Smart. Nice to have you as well. Let's see. Marie McKenzie. Welcome, my dear. Good to have you. Good to have you with us. I'm going to just recognize everybody before we start to talk to our friend. Hey, Beth Fountain over there in Jamaica. Welcome to you. Welcome to Big Time Drum. And Shayla is Friendsgiving. Oh, you just blew it for me now. Shayla is Friendsgiving. I think you know Shayla is someone with the initials. All right, good to have you guys. And Sophia Sharif is here. Thank you so much for being here. Negro Rami is here. Thank you so much for being here. It's so good to have you guys. Everybody is so good. Kurt Russell, welcome Kurt Russell. Welcome Kurt Russell. And again, if you're a Facebook user, Beth, I just returned from Jamaica. If you're in Facebook, come on over to YouTube because that's where we are. This is where we all are, on YouTube. Okay, guys? I do really appreciate you. Let's see what else is next before I get into the content for today. All right. So I do have 1 or 2 quick tips for you as far as the tech tips for the day. The tech tips for today is how many places do you post your flyer or video to promote your show? Today I want to just give you, let's put this over here. I want to just give you a few places where you can promote your show. And as a matter of fact, in the chat room, oh, Jackie's here. Jackie Durham, welcome as well. I want you to just drop in the chat room where you promote your shows before you go live. Let's see. Let me just put this up for you. Let's put this up for you. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, let's make this bigger for you to see. Where do you promote your shows before you go live? Let me know in the chats where do you promote. So I create a flyer, and you saw the flyer because that's why you're here. You saw the flyer, right? And I might throw it up later. But these are all the places that I promoted the flyer, and I even did a little promo video. YouTube, of course, the scheduled event creates a flyer there, and the community tab. Let me know in the chat where you promote your shows. I also promoted it. I also asked my guest to promote it on his community tab. Well, actually, he did it before I even asked to do it, so that was absolutely amazing. So then I also posted it on my Instagram story, and I posted it to my Instagram post, and I tagged a few people, so that got the word out on Instagram. I also posted it on WhatsApp. Now, I created 3 WhatsApp lists, and it's about 700 people, and I sent it out to the entire WhatsApp list. Now that's different than a group, it's a list, and if you want to know how to do that, let me know and I can show you how to do that. Get in front of 700 people in about 3 separate messages, very, very quick. Then I sent it to my email list. All right, I sent it to my email list. Again, drop in the chat room where you promote your shows before you go live. Then I also promoted it to my Facebook account, my Facebook group, and I put it into my Facebook header as well. Okay, guys. And then finally, I put it in the Discord. That's the YouTube Elementary Discord, where the community of all of us under the leadership of the lead attorney, of course. So those are all the places that I promoted the show today. Let me know where you promote your shows. Let's see. Okay, we have Instagram, says Negro Ranami. I think I'm saying that correctly. Big Time Drum, Reddit, Twitter, Instagram. Awesome. Negro Ranami, what's the name of the Facebook group? Asks Jackie. And here is the Intentional Millionaire, of course. Let's see. Where else do you guys post it? I joined all the Black YouTube groups, about 10 of them. Interesting. Thanks for the info. Transfigure Studios is here. Welcome, Transfigure Studios. Good to have you. And Snuggles is here. Welcome, Snuggles. I promote on YouTube. Intentional Millionaire. Sophia saying hello. Let's see. Who else? Where else? Sorry, correction. I meant the Black YouTube Facebook groups, about 10 of them. All right. Let's see. You're not speaking. Let's see. Where else? All right. I think we've got all of the comments there. The one and only, the Intentional Millionaire. That's right. Peter investor is here. Welcome to you, and let's get into it. All right, now it's time for you to, I'm going to introduce you to our guest. We're on time here. We're on time. I'm going to introduce you to our guest again. Here we go. Hello again, the intentional millionaire.
How
We
you
are
doing
in
today? I'm Jayne
for.
Nation. Do I still got an echo?
Do we have an echo? Did somebody say we have an
Uh,
echo? Let
I
me
still
stop
have
sharing. Maybe that's what it
I'm
is.
hearing the echo.
Let me stop sharing this. All right. How is it now?
Testing 1 2.
How
Perfect.
is it? Perfect.
Perfect.
Beautiful. All right. So everybody's here. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Welcome, Tina, as well. We are talking with the intentional millionaire. Let me know if you still hear an echo, because I've just the echo's gone. All right. Good. Thank you for that. She stole my thunder. So today we are talking to the intentional millionaire, and just by his name, people were quite intrigued. The people that haven't heard of you in my groups, they haven't heard of you. They said, "Oh, you know what? I need to be here for this one."
Right.
So, before we get into really the content, could you just introduce yourself to everybody? Let us know, kind of where you're from, what you do, and that kind of thing.
Okay. So I go by Tim for short. But I'm from the VA, the Virginia area. And I'm 42 years old and I never been married, no kids. And one of the key things that I was able to do as I started my journey was, really pay attention to what other people was doing. One of the key things I like to say is I grew up in the projects, but my dad was in the house, and one of the biggest things that I learned from my dad was two things. Was one, always be vocal about what you believe in, but two, you can learn what to do and what not to do by watching other people. So pay attention and don't be a dumbass. That's basically what he told me. Um, so with that being said, I got very young. I got really good at paying attention because I'm naturally an introvert. I prefer not to talk, but if I have to, I will. And because of that, I was able to really pay attention and see a lot of the things that I did not want to be part of. So I made sure I did whatever was the opposite of that. And from that, I learned some of the key concepts. I remember going to a conference, and one of the things that they talked about was you can, the best way to get the quickest results is do the opposite of what the mass is doing, and you'll get different results. And 9 times out of
Wow.
10, you'll get the best results. So that was pretty much the principles that I live by. Fast forward to now, that's why I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat no meat at all, and that's been for 3 years. And prior to me becoming vegetarian, I only ate chicken, fish, and turkey, and only one fish, and that was salmon.
Mhm.
Work with me because I'm country, so I may screw that word up. So y'all definitely work with me, okay?
That's all
Don't doubt
right.
my points for grammar, okay? but
You got it,
but
man. You got it.
but see, but that gives you all hope because I'm not the proofreading expert. So, but with that being said, one of the key things for me was I really paid attention to what others was doing from the standpoint of who can I learn from and who can I learn from. Not only can I emulate, but also who can I learn from so I don't make the same pitfalls.
Mhm.
And throughout my journey, I like to say I started off with $18,000 in debt. Actually, it was 18 plus an additional like $3,000-4,000, so it was a total of $21,000 in debt, and that included car payment, student loan, and a furniture bill me and my mom had. And from that, I was told that I need to get 100% out of debt. I did that in 2.5 years. And from there, I did that making $5.50 an hour, as
Whoa.
well as I did a lot of side work, whatever I can do that made money that was legal, so that way I ain't had to look over my back.
Right.
So I was able to wash cars. I helped people fix their computers. I did whatever I could to make money, and I paid the debt off. But after
Right.
I was able to do that, I was able to start my career. My background is electrical engineering.
Okay.
And I did what most people didn't do was I went to a community college because I was paying and I didn't care about an Ivy League school. All I cared about was would I get the same end with the electrical engineering degree. So
Right.
with that being said, I only had to pay for my 2.5 years at the community college. And then I was able to get an academic scholarship and transfer to a 4-year university.
Nice.
Um,
Nice.
so I made an attempt at a master's degree, but I said one semester and I was just like, this ain't for me. And the reason why is because I co-op my last semester senior year before graduation. And when I co-op for the company, they actually hired me. Um, and actually I got a $9,000 sign-on bonus. So that was pretty great. I thought I was on top of the world then. But anyway, but after taxes, it only ended up being like 7,500 or something like that. But
Wow. Wow. So
but with
that's
that
really
being
good.
said, the key takeaway from that was
Hmm.
when I graduated, the company I was co-oping for, they hired me. In my very first day, I knew that I needed to do something outside of work because it was people making six figures and they were still complaining
Wow.
at the very first day. And I knew that I was going to do something outside of the 9 to 5. So with that being said, and I tell people all the time, I worked so hard because I was already at the bottom.
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
was in the projects. I experienced, even though my dad came home, my dad liked to go to the bootlegger house. And with that, he used to do just the bare minimum in the house, pay the bills, sometime pay half of the bills. Because I experienced us getting put out, I experienced the lights getting cut off, the gas getting cut off, all that fun stuff.
Wow.
But with that being said, I knew deep down inside that I would never put my family through that.
Right. Right.
So, but just to backtrack, when I graduated high school, the very next day, he said he was going to get a loaf of bread. He never came back to the house. So
Oh,
he
wow.
waited till me, the youngest of 5, was finished high school. Then he left and never came back.
Wow.
Yep. So, with that
What
being
a
said, though, that was I say my dad though was the biggest teacher, and he's the instrument that really catapulted my vision, my journey.
right.
Because
Right.
just like what he told me I could learn what to do and what not to do from other people, I did the same exact thing with him because he was the one in the house with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with that, so I give all that to kind of give the foundation of where I come from. Um,
Right. And that's really
and I
good.
grew up in. Go ahead.
So yeah, I was gonna say at least when your father left, he actually left you guys. Uh, Number one, he left you a foundation because you said you learned a lot from him. But he also said you also said that he left once you were at a certain age, and that's when he decided to leave. Not that it's a good thing that he left, not at all. But at least he
Right.
left you at a decent enough time. If he's gonna make that was obviously calculated.
Hmm. At least he left after I finished high school, so at least he knew that I made it
Yeah.
through. So,
Wow. Wow.
um, but
So
yeah,
many.
I'm the youngest of 5.
Mhm.
It's 4 of us, 4 boys and 1 sister, and she's the oldest.
Okay.
And
So
it's
you're the youngest, right?
yes, I'm the youngest, and between us, it's so it's me and I got a brother that's a year older than me, and then my second to the oldest brother is like a 11-year age gap. And my oldest brother is like 2 years older than him, and then my sister is like 3 years older than everybody, and more of those 2, so
Do you all have the same sort of, I would say, ambition and mentality as far as finances and that sort of thing?
no.
Are you
We
the
all
only
do
one?
have ambition. I
They also
got,
have ambition.
'cause, 2 of actually, all of us have some level of entrepreneur spirit. We know how to make money outside of just our 9 to 5.
Hmm.
However, as far as finances go, I was the more sound one because when my dad left, it was just me and my mom at the house.
Mm.
And my oldest brother during the time he was married, so he was with my niece. My sister, she was married and she was gone somewhere. I don't even remember where. Then my second to the oldest brother, he was locked up at the time. And then my brother that's a year older than me, he had dropped out of high school and went to Job Corps.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so it was just me and my mom, and at that time, I just told my mom that, hey, we'll figure it out, and that caused me to step up. But the biggest
Ah.
benefit from that was I had to think critical and be very good at decision making, was because my mom never made over $14,000. Um,
Wow.
she had a GED, but she worked in child daycare and she loved working with the infants. But anybody know, she really enjoyed doing that, but they don't pay a lot of money.
That's true. That's true.
But with that being said, I was able to really sit down and just really, so it allowed me to really build my critical thinking, because the key thing for me was I had to make sure whatever decision I made,
Hmm.
it wasn't going to affect the house, because it was me and my mom. So that was very critical for me. But during the time, my mom, she had changed her life around, with her spiritual walk and things
Hmm.
like that. And
Okay.
by that time, my second to the oldest brother, he had got out, so he had came back.
Hmm.
But even though he came back, he was still kind of in that I like to say that pinnacle phase, where he was kind of, didn't really know what he wanted to do, kind of
Hmm.
thing. So, but with all that being said, that's kind of some of my journey. I want it, because I can give you a whole bunch of different stories and things that happened in between.
That actually gave
Um,
us a very good sort of foundation to where you come from. Because sometimes
mhm,
people hear about a millionaire and they just assume that they've had this, cushy life, that they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth, or that they've gone to, or that the extreme, and that they've just done everything wrong in life, and they're in the criminal side of things. So
mhm.
people have different misunderstandings or interpretations of of a millionaire. So you're basically a self-made millionaire.
Yeah, self-made from negative 21,840.
Wow. So we're going to get into how you, or some of the steps that you took to become a millionaire, and what people can do in their own lives, because it's possible for anybody. Is that correct?
It's possible for anybody. The key thing is being open-minded and consistency.
Open-minded consistency. At which point did you sort of say, all right, now I'm going to be intentional about what I do? Was this at the age where you left high school and your father had left, or was it later on?
Yes, that was when my dad left, and I knew everything. All decisions was kind of riding on me, because me and my mom was still at the house.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
because of that, I knew I wanted something different. When you come from the projects, we were staying in the house at the time. We had moved out of the projects. Um, this was years after that, but what I did know was we still had a shortfall of income. So that's why I got good at, finding out ways to make money.
Hmm. Hmm. All right.
But one of the key things was I knew I wasn't gonna do nothing illegal, because I had my second to the oldest brother. He had got locked up
Right.
for selling
Yeah.
drugs.
Right.
And
Right.
my
Right.
dad had made it very clear, if we got locked up, he won't coming down. He won't come to sign us out. We were gonna be 100% on our own.
Wow.
And my second to the oldest brother was the example. So,
Okay.
and he
Oh,
didn't write him. He didn't do none of that. He was very my dad was very one thing about my dad I can say. If he didn't like somebody, they knew it, because he would tell them.
wow.
So he
Yeah.
was very stern, but he was well respected.
Hmm.
So, you
Yeah.
know.
Okay. So let's get into your dad didn't play, says it says before the billions, and welcome before the billions to the stream. Welcome Alma Thomas as well, and everybody else that's just joined in. We're about to get into the real meat of the show right now, and Tim for short, intentional millionaire, he's going to tell us what steps we can take. Welcome Lashes, what steps we can take in order to get on the road to becoming a millionaire. So, Tim, what would you say as a start for this?
Okay, the first thing is the start is let's backtrack for a second. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna work my way up to your start.
Okay.
First, we gotta identify what we actually want
Uh-huh.
because everything starts in your mind. Um, and until we get our minds uncluttered and focus on what we want, we will never be aware of all the opportunities when they present themselves. So we first got to get rid of the declutter. Declutter can be all the different vices that's holding us from making that step forward. And everybody's vice is different.
Hmm.
It could be bad family members. It could be parents. It could be, co-workers. It could be your kids. It could be whatever the vices is that we know we need to fix, but we keep putting them off or we act like they're just gonna just go away through our osmosis. And on top of that, we continue to pray, but we not doing no work.
Mm.
So with that being said, that's the type things that we first got to identify. So we got to identify what things we need to be aware of. So
Mhm.
for me, I had to identify one, I was an introvert, so I didn't like to talk.
Mhm.
So I had to identify that. The next thing was I was very I like to say I was very nonchalant. What does that mean for me was I didn't really focus on too many things, but I learned that when I started reading, I learned that you have to build people skills, and people skills mean you have to be relatable, and being relatable mean you have to genuinely care about people.
Mm. Mhm.
So not saying that did I not care about people? No. But when you're an introvert, you just kind of in your own bubble.
Right, right,
Because if you choose anything that you don't have to talk, you ain't gonna talk.
right,
And
right.
then on top of that, I had to take public speaking when I was in community college. So
Uh-huh.
because of that, it allowed me to kind of halfway get out of my shell.
Cool, cool.
So those were some of the things that I had identified for me. And then I ain't had no money. So I mean, so with all that being said, I had to become aware. Then
Okay.
once I became aware, what I found is I started attracting things that helped me fill those gaps, fill the voids.
Cool. Okay.
Because you absolutely gonna get what you're looking for when you become conscious of it.
Right.
So with that being said, that's kind of what happened for me. I started connecting the dots. Because actually I had to sit out my very first semester of community college because I was in a car accident.
Oh.
The car accident, they had to get me out with the jaws of life. I got hit head on at 70 miles per hour on the guy on the high speed chase from the police. Um,
Wow.
it was on the front page of the newspaper. It was on the news and everything. And the only thing I walked out with, I was blessed because I walked out with only neck abrasion. And I had a couple
Oh.
of nicks on my face from the windshield shattering on my face. But
Wow.
with all that being said, so I never took my blessings in my life for granted. So because of all of that happened with my dad, with
Yeah.
just where I grew up, with me and my mom, and then I had got in an accident. All of that happened, but at the end of the day, I continued to stay focused on what I was trying to do.
Where
I
did you
said,
get that focus from? Where did you get that, determination? Because many people probably would have just quit and gave up, or just.
well, because that's part of the thing I did learn from my dad.
Oh
He
yeah.
was very bullheaded. So
Uh-huh.
because of that, he just continued to press on. So that was something I learned from him.
Well, that's good.
But also too, my second to the oldest brother, the one that had got out, me and him became the closest of my siblings. And because of that, I would always kind of check with him sometime. He would help me with stuff, just kind of help me keep but then in the process of that, I had got a girlfriend at the time, and my girlfriend, she came from a totally different dynamic.
Hmm.
And because of that, though, I was paying attention. So I was almost like taking notes, but didn't know I was taking notes.
So when you say a different dynamic, how different?
Well, because her mom and dad have been married for 20 some years. He had her dad had just retired out of the military. They was in a house. We was in the house, but we was renting.
Okay.
They was in the house they was buying.
Right.
He got out of the military, he was a mailman. So with everything that kind of happened, and she was going to college and this and that. So I was always paying attention. And at that time, that was the type of family I would want to have.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
because of that, that allowed me to continue to press forward.
Hmm. Good.
See, so because I always, for me, and this is something I always tell people, sometimes you got to go through stuff to help build you up. But the answer to a lot of things is right around you sometimes, but we got to be open-minded to get it and receive it.
To pay
And I
attention,
was
to
good
look.
at that because
Yeah.
I was instilled so young that you can learn what to do and what not to do by watching other people.
Right, right, right.
I didn't take that lightly. My dad he was a renegade, so he kind of instilled that into us. Because when me and my brother that's a year older than me, we used to fight a lot back
Hmm.
and forth. Just
Hmm.
brothers, and they almost treated us like twins, but we weren't twins.
Hmm.
But because of that, my dad was like the scary guy in the house because when we used to get beatings, he got to the point where he had took a belt, he cut little strips in it, and he hung it up like where the living room and the kitchen was. And whenever we would cut up, he's like, "You want me to get that belt? You'll straighten up real quick."
Tempt you with it, or torment you with it. Oh
Uh,
wow. Okay.
yeah. But with all that, but you asked, but that's the reason why with everything that was going on, I just stayed focused. I
Right.
tried to take whatever little good that was around me, and I would use that to allow me to keep going. So,
Okay.
and then you got it. But for me, you have to know too, is I think two part of that was because as kids, my mom and dad didn't go to church, but they sent me and my brother. We was going to the Salvation Army, and we would have to go every Sunday. And if we didn't go, we would get a beating, and and my dad would take us. So,
It would take you
so
and take you and drop you off there.
yeah, but we had to. They had a bus that used to pick up all the kids in the neighborhood. So,
Right. Right.
but I think that was probably the biggest thing was because being so young, we was smaller than I would say probably 7, 8 years old, and because being so young, I think that really helped because I think the spiritual part helped me at times that I didn't know. But
Hmm.
now looking back, I think that was kind of the core and the basis that helped me get through.
Right. Right. So all of these different things that happened in your life has really formed you to be the person that you are.
Right.
Um.
And
Yeah.
and that's what my name come in where I was truly intentional because when all of this kind of happened, when I decided to go to school, I didn't go to college for 2 years when I decided to go to community college. So I got
Uh-huh.
graduated high school. I waited 2 years.
Oh, okay.
I had something happen. I got in a situation with a cousin that set me up. I went downtown
Oh.
for in a holding cell for a couple about an hour or two. They let me
Uh-huh.
go. But
Okay.
that thing was another key thing that kind of let me know that hey, I got to do something and I got to really stay focused because it's easy because my cousin kind of and I don't want to get in too much into that,
Right.
but my
Right.
cousin kind of he was grimy
Yeah.
and and that kind of what happened.
That
But
could
from that,
that could have put you into a completely different direction
that's
if
correct.
ah
So everything that happened, I didn't have no chance for do-overs.
yeah.
You kind of
Uh-huh.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for everything that happened around me, I could have either became a product or I had to make a decision that I need to do something different. So
Hmm.
when I decided to go to college, I went to the guidance counselor because keep in mind, none of my siblings went to college. My mom and dad didn't go to college.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when I went to the guidance counselor, I said, this is what I want. I was good in math. And I was also, just to give you a backstory, I always made honor roll out of the 4 9 weeks. I would make it 3. And then I wouldn't make it the
Oh.
fourth only because when you grew up in the hood, they make you feel uncomfortable for being smart.
Wow.
But I didn't never look at it like that. I just looked at it always as I just wanted to take time off because I made honor roll the first 3 9 weeks, and then the last 3 I just want to goof off, don't do anything. So that's kind of what I
Wow.
would do.
That's crazy.
Which was weird, but anyway, but I never took books home. I always did my homework and all my classes in a homeroom. So I never take books home. But my friends always used to say, because they used to call people honor name and honor roll over the loudspeaker. And I would
Uh-huh.
always go up and get a medallion and get this and get that for making honor
Right.
roll. So people could never figure that out. But I was always, we was always taught, that was our requirement. Do our chores and get good grades.
Right. Right. Let me ask you something about that. Is that still the case now? Are people still, or are kids still made to feel um, goofy or weird or whatever if they do well in school? Is that still a thing now?
See, I can't speak to that but from my understanding, I don't think it's necessarily school. I just think the environment and people around you can make you feel that way.
Mm,
I think it still applies because I think it's just unsubtle nowadays. So for
that's so
example,
interesting.
because you become what your 5 closest friends are.
Uh-huh.
So
Right.
I think regardless, you could be an adult, you could be a teen, or adolescent,
Hmm.
it's still that rule still applies today.
Mm,
That because the key thing is you got to protect what goes in your ears.
hmm.
Because I found the ears is one of the strongest senses. What you
Right.
hear is hearing first, then what you see.
Hmm. I got you. Oops. Sorry. Trying to hit something else. Yeah, but welcome to Gary Gordon. Nice to have you here. Nice to have you here, Mr. Gordon. What does he say here? He says, uh, know what you want out of life. Number one, and number two, value people and things that are important. Says
Absolutely.
Pastor Gary Gordon. Nice to have you. All right, so let's we talked about your identifying what you want. Identifying what you want is the first point.
Right.
Um, do we have anything else on that point before we move on to the next?
So once you identify what you want, then the next thing is you got to create a written plan on how you're going to get there. And you may
Correct.
not know that, but you got to put some on paper.
Okay. And let me
It's
just say before you continue, guys, we're going to be getting some really good information here from Tim, the intentional millionaire. So I would advise you to get a notepad, get a piece of paper, or definitely you want to save this and watch this back because he's going to be showing us the blueprint, guys. So again, welcome to you all, and this is the intentional millionaire. We're going to call him Tim for short. All right. So the second point is create a written plan.
right. It's a
Go for
written
it.
plan of what you want.
Hmm.
Then you got to have put a time frame beside it.
A plan with a time frame, right?
Hmm.
Hmm. So let's say in your case, what was? Can you give us an insight into what was in your written plan? Did you
So my
actually say
original,
I want to be a millionaire, or was it more broader than that?
so my first original plan when I had the student loan debt, the car payment, things like that, my first written plan was I wanted to get out of debt and I wanted to do it in 2 years.
Okay,
And I
okay.
did it in 2.5. So I was a couple months off, but
Uh
that
huh.
was okay because if I didn't have it written down, who knows? It probably would have never happened. It would have been 10 years.
True, true. Right.
So that's the first thing. So that was my first plan. Then after I got out of debt, I re-strategized again, and then I wrote, now I want to start investing because I read in the book The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Tim Hart Eckert that you have to deprogram and then reprogram because what you think about money growing up is what you need to deprogram.
Hmm.
And that's what I
Right.
done. So I rewrote out my strategy to start investing. I wanted to start investing. I didn't care. I couldn't. I just wanted to start investing what I could afford. At the time, I could only afford $25 a month,
Hmm. Hmm.
but it was better than zero.
Right.
See, and for me, when people get so caught up on the amount, see, but it's not the amount that's important. What you're doing is the small wins start helping you create the discipline.
Hmm.
Through the discipline, you create consistency. And when I started doing that, I started the investments. Then I said, okay, now I got the investments, but let me fully take advantage of my 401k program because I have that. I'm not really using that. So at least let me put up to what the company matching. So I requested from the company the investment thing, and I just started reading it. I didn't really understand it, but I started reading it, and I really didn't understand it.
Hmm.
But it just so happens, excuse me, I had a college buddy at the time,
Hmm.
and they introduced me to somebody that was in the financial arena.
Ah.
See, again, it goes back again because I started programming in my head. I indirectly I started attracting what I was looking for.
Right. Right.
See, but it happens for everybody. Just think about this, Millissa. Think about how you made it. You mentioned the TLA on the last Q&A. How you've been on YouTube, but you decided to really turn it around. But look at how since you turn it around, look at how everything is coming right in sync with what you're doing.
I know, right? That's crazy. Yeah,
But
you
that's
start to
really
attract.
how it works. But people
Hmm.
don't really think it does. But
Hmm.
it really works just like that.
It really does.
Because
Let,
you start attracting everything that you're looking for.
yeah, let me ask you something because you mentioned a book by who was the book by again that you said you referred to?
Secrets of the Millionaire by T. Harv Eckert.
T. Harv Eckert.
Yeah,
And
Harv. And Eckert, I think is Erker, something like that.
okay, I'll find that. At that time,
Hmm.
w- who directed you to this book? Who was you listening to get your financial information from, or was it just that you just went out and sought out this information?
Well, I always read books. Because when I graduated in high school, I used to have a, a, a Caucasian friend, and he told me that black people don't know that they'll always be under white people's because the answer to their problems is in books, but they don't like to read. And I took that personal.
Wow, hold on a second. We gotta say that again. We gotta say that again on the big screen. Just repeat yourself there.
I was told by a Caucasian friend of mine, right a little before graduating high school, that his parents used to tell them that they're going to be superior to the black people because the answer to their prayers is in books, but they don't like to read. And I personally took that. I took that personal. And at that point, I stopped watching TV. I would read. And then I started just reading some of anything, tech magazines, tech books. I started reading, it was some novel book. But then I said, well, if I'm gonna read, then I need to read something that can really benefit me.
Right.
So I started going to the library because we weren't familiar with Amazon and all that stuff then. So I would go to the library and rent books. And I would go to the self-help books, the self-improvement books. And then the very, 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 very first book that I actually picked up and read though was Napoleon Hill. How to Win
Oh,
Friends. I'm sorry, Think and Grow Rich.
yes, yes.
That was the very first book. Then after that, it was How to Win Friends and Influence People. Then after that, it was Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And then after that, it was The Power of Focus. Those was the four books that changed my perspective.
Wow. At what age did you read those? Do you remember?
My very first book was maybe Gosh, I would say that was maybe 21, 22.
Okay, pretty
Yeah.
good. That's good. Wow. Yeah, that statement there is so important. And from that day on, you said that you stopped watching television.
I haven't watched TV since the Martin show, which was what, 96, 97.
Wow. Guys, are you hearing this? Man, you haven't watched TV. Do you have
Yeah, I haven't
TVs in your
watched.
house?
Yeah, I have TVs in all my rooms.
But what do you watch on them? Do you watch anything like news or anything?
So no, I don't watch news. News is no. Oh, that's like offensive word to me.
Ooh.
No, I don't watch news. I don't have to watch news.
Uh-huh.
I have everybody else tell me about the news, the most important stuff.
Uh-huh.
But no, I don't watch news because news has always been a deprogram, a Debbie Downer to me.
Mhm.
So I don't really watch news, and if I need to know anything that's current, then I just go for that particular topic,
Mhm. Mhm.
and then that's kind of it. But I don't watch news.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and part of that too is because my mom, she really enjoyed the news, and she was so caught in the doom and gloom of news. So I was just like, no, I'm going the other direction on that.
Wow. Uh, that's pretty interesting. All right, so let's get back into the steps. So identify what you want, create a written plan with a time frame. What else? What else do we have to talk about on that?
Now you have to execute.
Now we have to execute. All
And then
right.
the execution, that means you have to take action. But that take action means you almost have to be obsessed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And see, this is now where people get confused. So I tell people, if you married, husband and wife, or significant other, you get up, your obsession now becomes your goal should include your family. Because when your goals include your family, then they're going to help push you to continue to drive forward when you don't want to. But you got to get results.
When you say you involve your family, are you talking about your immediate family, your brothers and your
Yeah,
sisters, your parents?
so for me, I involved my mom.
Okay.
Because I told her that, since the onus is on me now, so you ain't got to worry because I'm gonna go out and figure it out. Where you ain't gonna have to worry about what happened and taking care of the bills or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
So she had to buy in. So me staying late, working late, doing whatever I need to do, long as she kind of knew what was up, she then was supporting me.
Okay. Okay.
But from that though, I had to get results too.
Hmm.
Because what ends up happening, you don't get results, then your credibility started to decrease.
Right. But
You
you was
follow me?
you were doing this for obviously for yourself as well as your family.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say you kind of was like you did your mom like hold you accountable, or did she help you to stay on track when things were progressing?
No, so my mom didn't. I didn't. My mom wasn't for that. I had people that I met in college, people that I kind of talked to, during the time when I told you when I really started my run, especially in college.
Hmm.
My girlfriend at the time, she was kind of help hold me accountable.
Got you.
So it was whatever person that was in my circle that I felt was really had good intentions. Even
Okay.
my best friend today. One of the things I always appreciate him for, because when he was we've been best friends forever. But one thing he always allowed me was when I was in college and I was working. So my day when I was in school was I would get up 4 o'clock in the morning, be at work by 5, get off at 2:30, go to college, go to the math lab, and I would stay in the math lab till it closed at 1 o'clock. And I
Mm.
did that day in and day out, 7 days a week. I
Wow.
would fall asleep in the math lab. It was times that I ain't know where I woke up, I ain't know where I was at.
Wow. That's remarkable to have that dedication and
So,
that.
so I tell people I didn't have college life like people, partying and all that. I didn't experience none of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You had a whole different intention.
Yeah. But my best friend now, I would say he was truly a friend because because we had worked together. And when him and some of the other coworkers would go out partying and they would kind of try to kind of joke on me, and he'd be like, "No, y'all leave him alone because he in his studies. I actually should be doing what he doing, but I'm going over here and go party."
Right.
And I respected him for that because he never made me feel bad about
Oh, that's good.
studying nothing like that. He always
Yeah.
was supportive.
Hmm.
So, and I think that's what we have to identify, people that's in our corner that's going to help support us,
Mm.
because I needed support like anybody else, because
Mm.
times did get rough. But the good thing was I did meet a good group of guys in college, and we still friends today, that
Mhm.
we helped each other, because not only was I going to school, but I was taking 16 to 17 credit hours per semester. Cause I won't plan. I was just serious about getting it done. And the only
Right,
way I know how
right.
to get stuff done is let's just do it extreme to get it over with.
Go
I don't
hard,
need
go
to drag
hard.
stuff out. Drawing it out is painful to me.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can just pull this up on another screen so that I can get rid of this troll here. I think it's a troll here. Remove that. Okay. So you had a pretty intense um school life, college life.
Mhm.
Um
In
is
my very first semester, my GPA had dropped a little bit, which had an effect on my scholarship. But I had to bounce it back because I went on probation. But it was okay because I didn't really know what I was signing up for.
Oh,
So, but I pulled it back together.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
So
had
yeah,
obviously had a lot
so
of determination. You couldn't fail because you just had it in your mind that you need to win at this thing, right?
yeah, I got to win. There's no way
Okay.
out. Either
There's no.
either I was gonna win or I was gonna die trying. That was just my attitude. And
Okay.
it's funny now, but it was some long nights that I was, up, in my own little space, down, out. And that's when good friends do come into play, because one thing I can say, I could always call my best friend and we could just talk. And
Hmm.
sometimes just talking, taking your mind off of everything that's going on is so critical,
Right, right.
So that's kind of it. So it
Okay.
wasn't, I mean, no, it sound like it was just easy for me, but it wasn't. I had to work like everybody else. The
Oh
only
no.
difference was I didn't spend a lot of time when things didn't go right. I just found solutions. But now transition to when you asked, so that was kind of my start. But then after that, when I started investing, then I finally got my first job as an engineer. And then on top of that, you got to keep in mind, I got my job as an engineer. I don't have no debt.
Hmm. Hmm. That's good. That's good.
So now all I got to do now is just really focus on what I need to do. So I increased my 401k. I took a full advantage of the company match.
Uh-huh.
On top of that, I had my Roth IRA. Now I start putting more money into my Roth IRA.
Hmm.
And then I was told that don't go back in debt. So, but I need to keep my credit score up. So what I done was I started reading to understand and learn about credit.
Hmm.
So then I understood credit. Um, from there, so then I said, okay, so I had one car and I said, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna charge some gas or maybe something to eat on it, and then I pay it off every month. And today I'd never been late on any payment on anything that I ever had. Not once. And I can pull my credit report and show you. It's all green checks since I ever had credit.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
But
Did
but again, everything I done was intentional, because when I said I was going to do something, I was
Mhm.
100% in. That's just I don't know no other way. And I just think when you come from the bottom, it ain't no other way. You
There ain't
just
no other
gotta
way.
jump in.
I
It's
love it.
like, and then I had a chance to read Michael Jordan's book, I Believe I Can Fly. And
Okay.
when I read that, it was just like me. It was like me reading about myself to a certain extent when he talked about
Wow.
all the hours he put in to becoming Michael Jordan. I would just read. I would take notes, read. I learned the ability to start talking in front of people. I learned the ability to, really understand, start, learning people names, start, implementing, start doing stuff, screwing stuff up, messing stuff up. But I
Right.
continue to keep doing it. But it was certain things that I messed up as I was learning. But in the same process, it was a lot of things that I didn't mess up because I didn't have the opportunity to fail.
Hmm.
Credit was one of them for me.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's why I was never late, because I knew
Right.
that what other way can I get anything with no credit? Because that's
Right.
all I kind of knew, especially in college, because they browbeat you in college with credit. So you sign up for some.
Yeah. I mean, what was it that gave you it's just the intelligence to refuse all of those credit?
Because
Because
I have been reading.
oh, because of the read. Of
Yeah, I've
course,
been
of course,
reading.
of
Again,
course.
all the answers was in books. I
That's
just
all it
need to
was.
keep finding more books to find more answers.
Wow.
I'm being 100%
Uh-huh.
transparent. And then I got a book talking about finances. The very first book that I got talking about finances was gosh, I don't remember the name, but I got the book
We need to get your
downstairs.
full list of books, man. Your list of
Oh, I can just take a picture of my
of your
bookcase.
bookshelf.
My three bookcases.
And I also want to give a big shout out to Major Change Group who's arrived. We're actually going to be having Major Change Group talking about credit, which is something that you just talked about, on an upcoming show. I think it's on Thursday. We might be having her on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so big shout out to you, Major Change Group. The information that you're given is so good. Lasha says, um, she says, Tim dropping pure gems on us. Absolutely. Absolutely. And everybody go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Hit that like button. Let's get the algorithms to start working for us. We do not have any moderators in there right now, but let us keep the activity going. And thanks for all the the suggestions and comments as well. Major Change Group says you are not co-signing.
Yeah, we got a joke because she did. I went over on her live stream and she was doing a live stream talking about Birdman was late on his he didn't pay his rent. He owed
Uh-huh.
$140,000 in rent. And I
Mm-hmm.
told her that maybe I can get Birdman to co-sign me an apartment, something like that. I said, that's the joke.
Inside joke there. Yes, a good credit score means paying bills on time or even before due dates and paying attention to how we use those credit cards. We're going to be having a full show about credit cards. Don't worry, Alma, come back for that show. Major Change Group is going to be telling us all about credit cards, how to use them, how to let them pay us, and so much more. All right, so we talked about um, let's see, no debt. We talked about your 401k, full company match. We talked
And then
about
the
your
Roth IRA.
Roth IRA. And guys, if you're not already familiar, where's your name? We need to get your name up on here. Why don't I have the names showing? Give me 1 second, because we need to have our names showing up here. Um, ba, 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 ba. We need to have our names showing. I think I was messing around with the what you call it, with the uh, oh dear. Okay, I'll find out in a second. But the Intentional Millionaire, he has a YouTube channel, guys. If you're not familiar, he has the same name, the Intentional Millionaire, and you can find out a lot of videos regarding all of these things like Roth IRA. He talks about um, some other investment vehicles. Just give us a little brief, as a little commercial here. Give a little brief synopsis of what your channel is about
So
while
on
I
my
try to find this
channel,
thing.
I talk about the ABCs of finance. Some of the fundamental things that you need to have a solid foundation as you start your financial journey. One of them being the most important thing is focus on your net worth, because your net worth is the most important tool and the most important thing of your portfolio. Why net worth is important is because even though you can be a high income earner, if your job stop, then that income stop. But if once you start building your net worth, that can continue to grow even if you stop doing anything. So the reason why that's critical is because when you think about net worth, most people don't talk about net worth. Most people don't know what net worth is. And if most people do know what net worth is, they're not necessarily growing their own. So one of the things I do on my channel is I talk about all these different things from the ABCs of it. So I start at whatever level a person is at. I start at a very fundamental, basic level, but then I start to get a little bit more intermediate, a little bit more advanced.
Mm,
But right now the channel is pretty new, so I'm still working a lot of the ABC stuff, but I'm having a lot of different people in different specialties come on the channel and drop some additional information.
mhm,
Ultimately what I want to do is I want to help other people start building them $1 million portfolio, because $1 million portfolio is not rich or wealthy. It just gets you in the game, because the better you in the game, the better now you can play the game, because now you know all the rules.
mhm. So definitely, guys, just go over to the Intentional Millionaire YouTube channel. It's been dropped in the chat as well. Excuse me. And you can see right there. Um, all right. So let's get into more of how the steps that you took to become a millionaire and what we
Mhm.
can do ourselves.
Okay. So we got the 401k, and then we started Roth IRA. I increased the Roth IRA by taking action, and that taking action was I had my goals. I knew I didn't make enough income. One, initially. Then once I started working as an engineer, I knew that also I need to have something that I have some level of ownership or something I can control outside of 9 to 5. So with that, that was part of my execution.
Mm,
Now, when I decided to do something outside of the 9 to 5, one of the things I started doing then was reading more business books,
uh,
self help books. Then during that process, I was introduced to a mentor, and then this mentor was kind of telling me about things with business, what a business is, why business is important. So then when I was able to do that, I went to a church and I had spoke because they had wanted some of the people just to share some of their stories. And when I spoke at the church, now keep in mind I didn't mention this, but back when I was in high school, I always wanted to get into real estate. That was
ah,
something I always wanted to do, but I just didn't know how. I ain't know nobody that was in real estate. We never even stayed in the house. So, and if we stayed in the house, we was renting it. So to me,
okay.
that don't really, to me that didn't count at the time because
Right.
we was renting it. It wasn't ours. Because every house we ever stayed in, the owner ended up selling or whatever, and we had to move. so so to me, that won't really my house, even though we were
Right.
staying in a house, but it
Uh-huh.
won't my house.
You wanted
But
to
with
have your
that being
own house that you had bought yourself.
right,
Right.
right. So, but with all that being said, so those two things was working at the same time. So now I was taking all my extra money from my outside business stuff that I was doing, and I was putting it back in the outside business stuff. During the time I was still doing like computer work, fixing computers, cleaning computers with antivirus, things like that. Um, but throughout doing all that, when I went to the church thing and gave my story, I met a mortgage broker there. And that started, and me and that mortgage broker, her and her husband had a mortgage company. And because I went up to her after everybody spoke, when I went up to her, and I was just like, hey, I always want to get in real estate. Would you mind if I come to your office, because I want to learn? And I say,
Wow.
I just told him, I want to come to your office. I take your card, and I'm gonna be there this date. And I ain't even really asked. I just said I'm gonna be there this date.
You didn't
Because I
ask you
read
to.
in the book. I read in the book. I don't remember what book, but I did read
Right.
in the book where they say if you see something of value, then you got to make it known you're serious.
Wow.
So and then I took that as dating. I mean, if I see a woman that I like, I'm not gonna sit around and do all this stuff that people do. I'm gonna go shoot my shot because it's already no anyway. So if you don't say nothing, it's already no. So let's just see if it's gonna be true or not. Let's go over there and
Uh-huh.
put some work in. But anyway.
So this was how you got your mentor. Is this your first mentor that you ever got?
No, this was my second mentor, but this was the first mentor that I got that I did not know from a can of paint.
Oh, so
The other
let's.
one was through a recommendation of a friend.
Okay. All
You see
right.
what I'm saying? So that was the friend knew them and introduced us, and we built a relationship that way. This was, I didn't know these people from a can of paint.
Wow. That's pretty interesting. Now, um, obviously, this is your second mentor. You've probably had more mentors after that. I'm gonna
That's correct.
assume.
So I have all types of mentors now.
Right. But just let us know what is the importance of a mentor.
Because the mentor see things that you don't see, but also the mentor that already been down some roads that you haven't explored yet is one. But then also two, the mentor is really looking for someone that they can data dump their library into,
Got you.
because they have a ton of information. But the thing about a mentor is they most mentors then work with a lot of people that didn't follow through,
Okay.
or didn't, kind of continue the journey. And when I started working with my real estate mentors, um, we built a great relationship, and they was in the process of, for them training people, they was charging $10,000
Oh, really?
because they was training people how you can make money flipping houses, things like that.
Uh huh.
And
Uh huh.
they had the real deal because during that time, my broker had just got featured in the Fortune 500 magazine. So with that being said, though, they took me under my wing, and they said, because you did everything you said you were going to do, we would train you.
Wow. And
Yep.
you didn't have to pay.
I didn't pay a single dime.
They saw that you were already intentional. You were already dedicated to it,
Yeah, and
and that you
dedicated.
did everything that they asked you to do.
So what I done was, so I already had assets in investments because I had my 401k and I had my Roth. But now, because I was getting into real estate, well, they told me that they already knew about the Roth, but they said, you have one, right? And I was like, yeah. They said, well, you can leverage that to get into real estate.
Ooh, now it's coming into play.
So now that's how I built my portfolio, because your portfolio is just all your assets, which is stocks, real estate, um, um, cash, all those things make up your portfolio. So my basis was in the market, in the equities market, stock market,
Okay.
through my 401k and my Roth IRA.
Uh
But
huh.
then, because I always want to get in real estate, now I use my Roth IRA to get into real estate. Then once I was able to get into real estate, I built my real estate now as my new foundation
The real estate is your new foundation.
of my
Let me ask you this.
portfolio.
Let me ask you this question.
Hmm.
All of the real estate that you've purchased, has it always been through using your Roth IRA, or have you done it in various
No,
ways?
so my Roth IRA was the leverage to get my first one, and
Your
then
first
from
one.
my first one, I made so much money, and then taking advantage of how the tax system worked, I was able to now use that money to get more real estate.
So your previous real estate helped to leverage your future real estate.
That's correct.
And then you also said something
1031
about
exchange.
tax now as well. Now you also
1031 exchange.
what's that?
A 1031 exchange is the leverage for real estate.
Okay, never heard of that. So I'm making my notes here, bro. You can see my notebook here.
Yeah, and the 1031 exchange just means, so let's just say you buy a house, Millissa, and you buy for $100,000. And let's just say you it's ready to go, you sell it for 150. Well, you
Yeah,
just made $50,000 on that sale.
right.
So if you take that money, you're gonna have to pay capital gains tax,
Okay,
and it's gonna get 9 times out of 10 it's gonna get charged as ordinary income. So
okay.
you're gonna pay a hefty penny on that, and that could put you in another tax bracket.
Oh,
However, with a 1031 exchange, what you're saying is you're not gonna take none of that 50. You're gonna take that 50 and go out and buy a similar or like property. So now you can build out your portfolio.
wow.
But also, you don't have to take all the money. You can use 40,000 for the new rent property, and then you could take 10, and then you only have to pay taxes on the 10.
All right, we're getting nuggets after nuggets here, people.
But you have 45 days to find a new property, and then you got 180 days you have to close on that new property so you don't get taxed.
All right. So not only are you
So in
leveraging
essence,
this,
all you're doing is you deferring the taxes till later, till whenever
yeah,
you sell the property. But here's
right.
what wealthy people do. They can just keep deferring it, and then when the beneficiaries take it, the beneficiary is not responsible for no taxes.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So there's so many things that for the first part of it I was like, yeah, I was keeping up, but now this part is a little bit
Yeah,
more
this is a little technical,
complicated.
but let's just wrap back. Let's just roll back a little bit.
Yeah,
So the
let's roll
key
back
is
a little bit.
I used the Roth IRA to get me now to real estate. So now I just took my asset class and just went to another asset class.
Hmm. But I also wanted to just highlight that not only are you talking about real estate here, but you're also talking about tax advantages.
That's correct.
So, there's a lot of things that come into play, guys. This is why I want you to have your notebook out. Maybe we have to do a part two, getting a little bit deeper. But so far, we talked about a lot of different vehicles here. We talked about the fact that you have no debt, the fact that you have a 401k that you're maxing out to the maximum, and your company is also matching. We talked about the Roth IRA, and then the second part of the Roth IRA is that you're leveraging that to buy real estate. Then you also talked about the stock market. We're gonna come back to that a little bit, and then the tax advantages of real estate.
That's
So there's quite a lot of things here. How do you manage it all, or where do we go from here? Do we want to dig a little bit deeper into any of these into these vehicles?
It's up to you.
Yeah,
You tell me what you want to know, and then we can dig deeper.
yeah,
But
let's
before we do that, though, let me say this.
uh-huh.
But that's why it's so critical you start a foundation first.
Right.
See, the key thing that I want everybody to remember is start a foundation first. The number one foundation that I mentioned was I first took advantage of the company matching in the company's 401k, 43B, 457 plan. If they match, you need to get all of that free money, because what we have a tendency to do is what people do is they got money in all these different places chasing all the hype.
Right.
People
Right.
into crypto, people into this, people into that, but they don't have no solid foundation. See, I didn't ever do that because I'm just getting into crypto.
Right. Right.
But I heard about crypto years ago, but I didn't understand it, and I don't get in anything I don't understand.
Right.
Because if you don't think long term, all you're doing is gambling. You might as well go to Vegas.
That's true. That's true.
I don't gamble with what I'm doing, me personally.
Yeah.
I take strategy risks, and then I only do it because I'm thinking long term. I'm not looking for the latest hype. You don't win with the hype. You win long term. I can't emphasize that enough because we like chasing the latest thing, the latest hype, and we don't understand.
Hmm. Hmm.
For me, crypto, I don't understand it. That's why I work with Perry Unlikely. He take his time and sit down and help me understand and explain stuff, because if I want to get when I get in
Hmm.
and understanding, I want to make sure that I'm doing it based off of me having a understanding. Why? Because if I have an understanding, one, I know what I'm doing,
Hmm.
but also two, because it's an asset that I now have. So whoever I decide to be the beneficiaries, I still got to think about the next generation.
Mm.
But if I'm just doing it random, how can I explain it to them? They just gonna get the money, they just gonna blow it off
Hmm. Hmm.
because they don't understand it. So I just think we got to time out on that, just taking all this chance stuff, and let's just build something foundational. So that's what I've been good at. I build a foundation. The great thing is now people could do it so much faster
Yes.
because it took me a while to do it. I originally had a goal to have it done by the end of 2019, but it actually happened like in about March, April of 2020. It happened right there when the coronavirus and everything kind of shut down. So it was like April 2020.
What in particular are you referring to?
I'm
What
talking
happened?
about my goal to hit $1 million.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. In
Excuse
my
me.
portfolio.
Okay, so let's take a little pause here. Um, you hit your $1 million in just before the pandemic, or the P word.
Right. hmm
So when you were planning, did you have a time frame in which you would hit that million, or no?
Yes, my time frame was in December 2019. And I had that
Oh.
goal 5 years ago. I listen. I always wrote down my goals, and I was when I had moved, I was unpacking, and I found I had a calendar. It was like a little desk calendar, and I had wrote it big, and I had to go in 5 years. So when I originally wrote that goal, that was in 2014. That was December 2014. I wrote that goal on the calendar by December, in 5 years, by December 2019, I want to have $1 million net worth.
Okay,
And I
beautiful.
hit April of 2020.
Let me ask you guys in the chat room. Has anybody made their goals? Has anybody made like a long-term goal, like 5 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? Let me know give me a number one if you've made your goals for the next 5 years or for the next period of time. Just drop me a number one if you have made your goals and you've been intentional. You got a specific date in mind, and you have a specific thing that you want to achieve. And let's just go to some of the comments here, and we're going to come back to our foundation in a little bit. So let's see. Let's see. I want to make sure that we catch some of these questions. Oh yeah, and if you have any questions, drop them in, and we're going to take them in a little bit. Okay. You have an awesome approach to it all, says Sophia Sharif. Let's see. Junior Martin. Good evening, Millissa and Mr. Tim. Glad to be listening in. Definitely somebody who is looking to better his situation as well. Wealth Talk Production. Welcome to the show, Wealth Talk Production. We are here to party about finances today. She stole my thunder, I know. Thanks for always looking out for me. Let's just see if you have anything specifically for our guest here. And we are talking with the intentional millionaire. For those who are just coming in, please hit the like button for the algorithm. I think we have we're deficient in our likes, guys. So please go ahead and give me a like if you would mind, if you're enjoying this content. We have just 19 people that have hit the like button, and there's at least 21 people in here. Two people are not doing their job here. Let's see. I'm going to come to the foundation in a little bit, guys. So, Oh yeah, I saw Adrian Nash earlier. Welcome, Adrian Nash again. Welcome to everybody that's here. You could be anywhere right now, and you're here to gain some financial information from our guest here. Let's see. This is a good game. This is a good game. I'm not quite sure which game you're talking. We're not playing no games here, guys. We're not playing no games. How is everybody doing? How are you feeling tonight? Do you have your plans? Do you have your your 5-year plan? I've always, as always, this is good gems rated down. Of course, of course, of course. Listening and learning. How are you, sir? Well, production is here. I've got to talk to about production on the show in a future session. All right. Um, Free game over here, guys. Free game over here, says Lashes. Lashes Jayne is also a real estate investor. Let's see who else do we have got going on. I wanted to try to get to some of your great comments here. I'm going to steal your ideas. See, I can't get to all of the comments because there's a lot going on. So true, nothing but rush, but strategic building. Nothing is a rush when it comes to strategic building. That's right. Tim straight out preaching financial truth, says Gary Gordon. Definitely. Tim straight out preaching. That's what he says. You are so correct. Okay, I need to open my other laptop so I can play more videos. Yes, indeed. Play as many videos as you like of mine and of Tim's. No comment, no credit card payment, no, just mortgage payments only. Listen, we're all heading in the right direction, guys. We're all okay. So this is the question now. This is the question. Well, product slowed down. I can't catch up. I'm a damsel in distress. So these are the people who have their financial plans, their plans. Bernard has his plan. Sophia Sharif has a plan. Major Change Group has a plan. She's going to tell us a little bit about that when we have her on the show. Number 2, I made my short-term goals at this time. Okay. Started my trucking company, says Geddy. All right, Geddy. Give him a big round of applause, guys. I see, right? That's what I'm talking about. Number 1 says Marie McKenzie has her plan. The Intentional Millionaire. How would you advise someone who has is that 10,000 to invest right now, or is that 100,000? How much is that?
10,000.
10,000.
All right. How I would do that is I have to sit down and see what their financial makeup is. Because the danger in that is I need to know more to know if investing is even the right option right now. Because there's some pre-assumptions I don't want to make, but I would need to know. For example, I would never tell nobody to invest money if they owe and have debt. Because if they got a credit card and they have a balance on it, the average interest rate on credit cards based off of October 2021, the average credit card balance interest rate, is 16.5%.
Wow.
So if they paying 16.5% on the credit card, then I would first say pay off the credit card, because who knows, you may not get 16.5% in the stock market. So I just need to know some more information. But now, if they have debt, I would tell them first, let's look at the debt and possibly pay off the debt. There's no need to invest, because that's thinking short term. If they invest now and hoping that they make the money to pay off the debt later, that's not how rich people do it. So what I would say is, no, we're going to plan we're going to design the outcome versus try to chance the outcome. So I would need more information, but now, so I give you that scenario. So if a person has debt, I would recommend they take the $10,000 and pay off as much debt as possible. Now, if that person don't have debt and they have $10,000 to invest, now I would look at and ask them, are they fully first taking advantage of the company retirement plan? Do they have a Roth IRA? Are they already in the stock market? Are they already in crypto? Because depending on what they already doing, some things could be enhanced, some things they may need to get rid of. So it just depends on the individual what they doing, because this is not a that investing is not a one size fit all, if that make any sense. But that's a great question, because too many times we think that when we get a lot, people think that when they get a large lump sum of money, let's just go invest it. But that may not be the best scenario, the best case. Also, too, they may need to invest it after they took care of everything else. But then the question then becomes is what type of investment they may need. So what I mean by that is if they have kids, or let's just say they have a child and they don't have a college fund set up, but that may be important to them. So I wouldn't tell them to invest it for themselves. I would tell them to invest it for their child. So it's so many different questions that I personally would need to find out before I would give a recommendation.
All right. So it really kind of depends on your own situation.
That's correct.
Now, do you give advice? Do you give, or not
I give
advice,
information.
recommendations, suggestions, like a one-on-one?
Yes, I do. You can send me an email and I will provide a one-on-one. But like I said, because I just for people that don't know, I did have a financial license. I don't have it anymore. And the reason being because I didn't like being limited. I like to be able to give whatever is the best for the consumer. So
Okay. Okay. Um, okay. Let's see.
tell Getty to put a 1 if that answered his question. 'Cause I
Yeah,
want to make
let's,
sure, I want to make
sure.
sure, because that's the that's a touchy piece, because it's not a when it finances is not a one size fit all. You got to really that's why the cost of a CPA or some type of financial professional is so high, is because they really got to collect enough data to be able to give you the best advice that's going to give you the best outcome.
You're so right. As a matter of fact, I was looking at some advice from a professional, and they sent me this document which was a lot of pages to fill out. It was like it was so in depth that I just didn't get around to doing it because it was a little bit overwhelming, to be honest with you. But I see why that's the case, because they have to look at everything. They have to look at
Yes,
all of your whole situation, and like you said, everybody's different. There is no two people that will be the same.
that's correct.
So I totally understand that. Let's see what else we have here. I made 10-year goal in 2015. I crushed it a long time ago. Now that's what we're talking about too. Lashes
Mhm.
journey. That's amazing. That's amazing. Getty show, really sweet. In the trucking. That's very, very good. Very good. Getty radio show. I'm listening to country CEO. I begged my ex to start a trucking company with me since he's a car hauler. He wasn't focused. Listen, it's not for everybody. Not for everybody. Tim, does Tim believe in owning rental properties? Here's another question for you.
Absolutely.
Talk about this is part of your portfolio too, right?
Yes, absolutely. I have 4.
Talk about.
Absolutely. But let me give you some good insight on this.
Mhm.
I absolutely believe in rental properties. But the true money is made at the time you sign the contract.
Mm,
I repeat that. The true money is made at the time you sign the contract. See, people
explain.
go in with rental properties off the expectation. No, the
Yeah.
true money need to be made on the day you sign. So for example, I don't even consider a rental if I'm not going in at least with 30,000 in equity, one, but then also $250 from a market analysis and positive cash flow. So before I ever sign, I know I got 2 things working in my favor. So why the equity is so important? Because if the rates go down and the market shift, you got enough cushion in there that you don't be under.
Mm-hmm.
One, but then two, the positive cash flow. So that means still that you can still make money also from the money coming in. So if the market shift or the market do like in 2008, you got enough cushion in there so you don't be upside down, but also still you have enough positive cash flow that you still can make money.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. It's a little
And
deep,
then
but
some
it's
Go
coming.
ahead.
It's coming.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying that it's a little deep, but it's coming. We
Hmm.
get the gist of it. I get the gist of it. You want to
Right.
make the money up front. You don't want to wait on
Right. That's
rely
the
on.
key.
You don't want to
When you
rely on the
go
rent
in and
coming in.
sign and buy that rental property, the money should already be made on paper when you sign the contract.
Wow, that's very very good. All right, let's see what else we have here. Um, let's see what else we have here. Um, let's see. Getty Radio show. If you started a trucking business, what will happen to Getty his show? That's okay. Uh,
He
great
can still
listeners
do
get.
the show and work, run his business.
Yeah, we could run it from the downtime. So Lashes Journey says her oldest son has started one too. Trucking.
Hmm.
I'm going to bid you all good night. Good night, Tina. I know we kind of took a long time on this one. You can just watch the replays on this one. We just want to just take our time here. The company is up and running. Let's try to see if we have any more questions. Um, saying thank you here. So are you doing trucking right now? We're having a conversation. Credit card is so damn bad. I hate the name of credit card. It's highway robbery. Yeah, the interest rates are high, but credit cards can work for you if you use them right. And again, um,
Okay, he said one, so we good.
yeah, okay, so
Mhm.
that's good. Let's see, 16 to 22% interest you pay the bank. So
Mhm.
again, you want to keep it at zero. You want to keep you don't want to ever pay interest. You pay it off as soon as you use it. Uh, all right, I wanted to get to what's the name? Major Change Group is going to talk about credit. She's going to talk all about credit very, very in the next couple of week or two, or I think it's on Thursday. I got to check my schedule. Um, okay, let's see. Do we have any other questions, guys? Don't let Shorty know about your pockets. It's a whole different thing. Uh, that'll be a whole other topic. Do you let Shorty know your pockets? That'll be a whole other topic. I enjoyed the contract analysis. Thanks, with Intentional Millionaire. Yeah, Major Change Group is going to be doing a show very soon. Good night. Let's see who's on Facebook. Who's on Facebook? You guys are going to come over to Facebook. You got to come over to YouTube, guys, because I can't keep a track of what's happening over there if your name doesn't show up. Um, that's the best investment, real estate. It's the safest investment on earth. Would you agree with that, Intentional? I'm not sure that I would agree
Uh,
with that.
I wouldn't say safe is no, but I will say that it's the most diverse. Um, it's the most diverse out of the asset class, and the reason being because you can get a three for one real. You get three benefits from one real estate deal. So you get a chance to get equity, cash flow, but you also get the tax benefits.
The tax benefits are big.
See, and when you
Um,
think about real estate compared to, oh, we got a question.
what's this question? Should a person pay off debt even if they're broke afterwards?
Absolutely. Because now they broke afterwards, but here's the thing. Now after they broke, from there on out, everything they made they get to keep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So absolutely. You have to go broke up front because I like to say for debt, and y'all don't get mad at me. I just got to tell it like it is. For debt, you already had the fund. So
Mm,
now it's time to pay the piper, because now
mm,
you want to
mm,
get from fund to accumulation. So you got to get uncomfortable. And the uncomfortable part is you need to be broke, but at least your broke is going to be very, very, very temporary. Because if you broke for 1 month, then you can come right back around the next month and be right in the plus, because you now know how to spend the money paying nobody else. All
mhm.
that money goes to you. See, and what we have to do though is we got to get excited about, if you go to zero, well, let's just say you owe debt. So you're not at zero, you're actually negative. So let's just say you start off with debt, you're at negative $20,000 and you have $20,000. You spend that whole $20,000 to get you to zero. But now in the next 30 days, let's just say you only have additional $20. So now you positive $20. See, you have to get excited about the $20 before you can get $200, before you can get $2,000, before you can get $20,000. See, you got to get excited about the smallest win, because that smallest win is going to get you to the bigger wins. And too many times we want to get to the bigger win. Not saying you, radio show. Not saying you. I'm just using this as a training, as a teaching moment, because we got to get excited about whatever win it may be. Because it was $20 more than what you had. Because originally you was $20,000 red. So now you $20,000 green. So that should be a citable win. You should treat that $20 almost just like you got $20,000. But yeah, but you absolutely should pay off your debt.
And you also have to think about it like this, and you might even do the calculation. How long would it take you to make? How long would it take you to pay off the debt, as opposed to um, having debt and trying to do whatever you're doing? If you have debt still and you're trying to do other things, does it even out? How much is the interest rate that you're paying on your let's say it was credit cards? How much interest rate are you paying on that? While you're still, if you're trying to invest and the interest rate is lower, it doesn't add up. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Because
So
I would definitely, I mean, I did. I decided to pay off all of my debt before I tried to do anything else, because I knew that having interest, paying interest, it doesn't make sense. You're always going to be a little bit less than what you could be.
right. See, but it's the nickel and diamond concept, because because let's just say, because even though the credit card interest rate is fixed on the statement, but is it really flexible, because the interest rate charge, the interest you're going to pay is based off of the actual balance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but what people think, because they may only pay $60 here interest, $70 there interest, but they're missing the concept that money is going to their pocket, not your pocket.
Hmm. And add that up for the whole, for the whole year. How much have you paid
Exactly.
on interest? And then some cards have annual fees. There's
Fees.
just so there's just so many there's just so many things that can go wrong with having to being in debt. All right, there was another question here somewhere. Let's see. We're still talking about this trucking company. I think there should be a show about trucking companies. All right, if you want to connect there. Um, Man, this chick will do some strange. I don't know what this is about. I better look at these before I pull them up. Thanks for the great information, says Jackie Durham. You're welcome. Okay, here's a question. If you could just go over this again. Sorry, I don't understand what he means by making the money up front when the contract is signed to purchase a rental property. Can you just go over that one more time again for us,
Right. So what I mean by the money is made up front, meaning that you're buying a property, even though you're buying it as a rental, but you walk in before you sign the contract and get the keys, you know that you're going to walk in and the property is going to have equity. So for example, let's just say you buy the property for $70,000, but it's valued at $100,000. That means when you sign and buy that rental property at $70,000, you can sell it for 100. That means you have $30,000 in equity in it. On top of, you know that you did a market analysis, so you did your due diligence, and your mortgage on it, on that 70,000, your mortgage is going to be, let's just say $500. But from your market analysis, you know that you can rent it for $1,300 a month. So when I mean that your money is made up front, before you sign on the dotted line, you did your due diligence, and you know that you can buy the rental property with $30,000 in equity, and that's the price you paid, $70,000, and you can sell it for $100. So that means you have $30,000 in equity in the house. But also you did a market analysis for, based off of the rooms and bathrooms. You know that you can rent it for $1,300, and you know that your mortgage is only $500. So with those two things, before you sign, when you sign the contract, you already know that you're going in to make money. That's what I mean by that. So please share one if that answered your question.
Okay. Alma, put a number one if that answers your question. Um, you know how you went to this couple who mentored you in real
Mm-hmm.
estate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if somebody wants to get mentored now,
Mm-hmm.
uh, is it that easy just to find somebody who you admire, to find a mentor? Is that still possible now, or how
Yes.
yeah?
So here's the thing. If a person want to get a real estate now, because the market is inflated right now, but there are still deals out there. Okay. So first thing I would say is the person needs to vet their potential partnership, the person that's going to be on their team. So I give you a couple key things. The first thing is, don't get a real estate agent, get a realtor. A realtor or a broker. Now I'm explaining it. So it's three. So a real estate agent, all that means is that person went and passed the realtor's test. A realtor not only passed the test, but they had to pay a fee, and then they had to do some additional training for code of ethics. So they cannot lie to you. They cannot just sell you anything, because they have that extra level of dedication, making sure the client's interest is more important than their interest. And if they do, you can legally sue them. So you want to at least at bare minimum get a realtor, not a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But then if you want to get the creme de la creme, you want to get a broker.
Oh, wow. See,
Okay.
I had no idea there was three different types, or what really they did.
Right. Um, so that's the first thing. The next thing is, if you're looking to get into investing properties, getting rental properties, anything of that nature, my next question would be, if you're getting a realtor or a broker, your next question should be, do you own any rental properties? Have you ever flipped a house before? If they say no, go find someone else, because you want somebody with as much skills as possible. It's not about feelings. It's not about how good they look. It's not about how nice they smell. This is, right now, we're talking about business and getting you the best results. Okay. Because if they don't, it's kind of like, would you go to a dentist that's missing teeth?
That's funny. No,
You wouldn't, right?
no, no. They gotta have their stuff together.
Would you? I mean, that's the kind of the analogy. So I'd like to say, if you're going to get into real estate from an investor, flipper, whatever the case may be, you need to make sure that person you're going to partner up with, that realtor or broker, also does that. Why that's important? It's because that way, not only are you creating a relationship and a partnership, but you also getting a chance to learn because they are a library.
Mm.
It's a mutual interest, but it's a win-win interest because the more houses they help you sell, they get compensated, and the more information they pour into you, the more equipped you are to continue to get sales for them. It's a mutual interest. The problem is we just got to be conscious of that, and then we got to state what we're looking for. Be clear, crisp, and concise about what you're looking for.
You got to be intentional. You got to be intentional. All right, we have another question here. That is what you said right there. You know, when you said that you had gone to a mentor helped you to get into your first couple of properties. Um, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about, going to somebody who can show you the ropes.
Right.
Why wouldn't you? It's like, why wouldn't you?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, or I could be your dentist with no teeth and be like, come on, Millissa, let me go ahead and help you with your teeth. You look at me and be like, hold on.
Oh man, that's so good. All right, so here we have a question from Getty. The intentional millionaire. After a person is debt free, how soon should that person start to invest the extra money?
I would say as soon as possible, especially right now, but I would say make strategic long-term investments. The reason why that is critical because not all investments is good investments. And I like to say we have to, I think people should have some level of understanding of what they're investing in. The reason being is because I say you never should, even if you deal with a CPA or somebody certified, we got to now start allowing ourselves to at least be aware of what's going on and not just put it all on them because it's ultimately your money. Because you still have to know not all people have your best interests at heart.
Wow.
So if everybody don't have your best interests at heart, why are you surprised then that if something go wrong because you didn't take the time to monitor your own money? But to answer your question, as soon as you get the extra money, yes, you should start investing it. Because if you don't and you just letting it sit there, inflation is killing it right now. See, and one of the things that we got to think about, Getty, this is a fantastic question, is because we need to start investing it right now because what people don't really know is they getting killed in inflation and everything. So you think about when you go buy groceries, you getting that tax. That's an inflated tax. When you buy purchase gas, that's inflated tax. When you buy clothes, when you buy computer, anything that you buy, you paying inflation built in. That's why it's hard for the average person that just only work a 9 to 5 to get ahead. That's why the way the world is going, you absolutely need to do something outside of your 9 to 5. Because inflation is 6.2% now, so you're going to get killed. So that means that if inflation is 6.2%, most people on their job getting a 3% pay raise, they still 3.5% backwards.
Mm.
So really, you didn't get a pay raise.
Yeah.
You just got a monetary increase, but that increase is not even gonna be enough. Every time you go buy something, it's gonna get ate up because of the taxes. See, most people don't understand how the economy is a nickel and dime economy that kills your money. That's why it's so hard for people to get ahead. That's why I always recommend that if you have debt or you have not enough income, the key thing you need to ultimately do now is go make additional money. Because with more money now you can beat the additional costs. because you have more coming in. So that means you have more coming in. That means more left over.
Okay. We're having some great questions coming in. Big shout out to Suzanne Morris, just joined us. Let's talk about question from Gary. Real estate investments, business ownership. What is the right portfolio mix? What is the right portfolio mix? Is there a split? A split, I should say.
I think that's really preference.
It's preference.
That's really preference, but you got to look at one is going to be which one is going. The first question I would say is it's not necessarily a split that's important. I would say more or less which one will be your foundation first.
Foundation. You spoke about foundation before.
Yeah, because when you think about you building a house, you got to have a foundation first. So I say out of the three, pick whichever one is going to be your stronghold. And then from that stronghold, then you can get into the other two. But I don't believe in trying to go in and make all three your stronghold. I just don't believe in that because that means that you don't really have a strong foundation, me personally. But the great thing is you can do it either way. It's really about preference. But for me, I like to tell people always have a foundation, your go-to. That's going to always be there regardless of how whatever goes on. That's going to be your stronghold regardless of everything that happened. This guy ain't going nowhere. It's like building a house. I don't care how beautiful the granite tops is. I don't care about the expensive roof you put on it. But if you put it on some plywood, it's going to cave in. So when it comes to your portfolio, I just think you got to pick whichever one you want to be your foundation. So for example, for me, I originally started with investments as my foundation, but my investments allowed me to get into real estate. Then from the real estate, I got into business ownership. So that was but now my foundation is my real estate. And the reason why my real estate is my ultimate foundation because I like the 3-for-1. I like the cash flow, equity, and the taxes.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So now your real estate is your foundation. So it kind of switched after years, over years.
Mm-hmm.
When you first started, it was the investments, right?
Right.
Here's the thing, stocks.
They almost equal now because my real estate portfolio and my investments, they almost about equal.
And you have some long-term goals now for your, or I might even say short-term goals for your real estate. Can you share what your short-term goals are for your real estate now?
My goal this year is, which I'm already starting, is I'm gonna start paying off my houses one at a time. That's just what I currently have in my portfolio. That's not including anything new.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking to do the snowball effect on my mortgages.
And what led you to decide to do that?
Because now I know if I do that, now I know my net worth can go almost up to about 1.71. But then 2, I just figured, shoot, I haven't had that for so long, but why not now just brag about it? Because I do own a house that I paid for cash too. So
wow, that's nice. Let's go back to some.
And I only paid for the house cash. Now, would I recommend that? No, because because the opportunity cost I missed that I could have been in the market. I could use somebody else's money to leverage their money.
Yeah.
But the key thing that I always say though was when I originally got into real estate, I never had to worry about what Dave Ramsey had to worry about because he was leveraged too far. So one thing I always done was I always got enough real estate that I had enough money that if anything was to go wrong, I can go take all the money and pay for the real estate. And then even though I sold stock or whatever, I can then get a write-off because now I put it back in the real estate.
Gotcha. That's smart. That's smart. Because I always wondered why some people let's say overstretched because they're leveraging themselves. They're, let's say, buying too much. And if something does go wrong, that they can't recover from it. If something goes wrong with one property, you can't pull back from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But in real estate though, it's not necessarily bad. It's just that you gotta have a strategy just in case.
Ah, right.
Because in real estate though, a lot of people have to do it because you can get to a point where you can only get but so much now. So you have to over leverage because the over leverage is what's going to allow you to scale.
Okay. I guess that there needs
Hmm.
to be a balance on how far, how much over leveraging you're going to go
Right,
for.
right, right.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Let's go to another question or statement. Real estate is the best investment on earth, in my opinion. Nothing can be. I think we already took that one. Did we take that one before? Or that's fine. Everybody has their opinion. um, let me just let's talk about this for a little bit actually. Um, as it relates, because we spoke about this a little bit before, as it relates to stocks and 401k and all of that kind of stuff compared to real estate. Um, can you just elaborate a little bit more on why which is best or which is better or which is or is it just varied?
It's really preference
It's really
because investments has its leverage and it has its special cases too where it's better than real estate. Because you got to
okay.
think about with stock, you don't really have no overhead. So it's just what you invest, it grows or it don't grow, and that's it. The thing about stocks that really you just got to be pay attention to is if you taking it as short term game or long term game. Meaning short term, if you buy it, let's just say you buy some stock and you buy it at five, you put 5,000 in, and the account grows to 10,000, and let's just say you sell it at 10,000. Well, that's a short term gain, and that short term gain, so that 10,000, that $5,000 is going to get added to your ordinary income. But if you decide to wait 12 months, then it goes to long term gain, and then you got to pay the capital gains tax,
uh,
which is
okay.
20, 15, and 10%, depending on your income level.
Ooh, okay. All right, let's see. Let's see. We have any more questions? Yes, indeed. Very clear
Okay.
explanation that time. Awesome,
Okay.
awesome. GRI broker? But I'm not quite sure what that is. Do you know what that is? GRI broker? Do you know what that is, Tim?
No, I don't know what that is.
Okay.
GRI.
Maybe they have been having some conversations inside here. You don't sell real estate, you buy and hold and rent them, leave them for the next generation. I'm trying to build generational wealth. I'm not trying to get rich. True, true, true. She's buying them for her children and so forth. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's better have his natural tea. Okay. Apprentices are called wholesalers. Is that right?
Yeah, that could be right. Yes.
Okay. Check out the Intentional Millionaires YouTube channel. It's just type in the C and the Intentional Millionaire, or just do a search for the Intentional Millionaire. You see his name right there, the Intentional Millionaire. Definitely tune into his channel. All right. Before the billions, how you doing, my friend? What's going on? What's going on? Blessed and thankful to be online tonight. Definitely, we're going to be having a series. All of the shows that I'm doing in the month of January are all to do with business, finances, and health. Health, business, and finances. And we already have the schedule already laid out. Okay, we're going to come back to the foundation and in a little bit. I just want to go through these last few questions or comments. It comes down to real estate 3-for-1. I love that idea, that 3-for-1 thing. If someone goes wrong with one real estate property, could I not just sell to sort things out until I can repurchase another? This is a really, really interesting question. Before you answer that question, um, um, Tim, I'm going to give you the full screen here, and if you could hold the fort for a second,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to disappear for a minute. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Just answer the question and hold the fort.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Well, to answer your question, that depends. Yes, you could sell it until you want to repurchase another. However, you got to really think about what is the market doing. Are you upside down? Are you willing to, it's just a lot of other factors you have to factor in. But yes, you can sell it. But you got to just factor in some additional things like, do you need to do any type of repair costs? If you need to do some type of repair or something come up during a home inspection, are you willing to pay for the fixes, or are you going to deduct those fixes off the total purchase price of the house? When you think about you reselling, if it's your primary residence, then the next question going to be is where you going to stay once you sell it. And if it's your rental property, then you don't really have to worry too much about that. So there's a couple other factors you really got to kind of factor in, but ultimately, yes, you can sell the property. And I don't know what additional questions we may have. Um, I'm gonna try to see if I can look at the chat, see if we got any additional questions.
How are you doing? How you doing?
Oh, I just answered that. I was just about to see if I can look in the chat, see if we had any additional questions.
Okay, good, good. Thanks
Answer
for
the type of one if that answered her question.
yeah. Just drop in a number one, as Tim says. How are you doing for time? You know that we always do these long stroking as that.
Yeah, I was gonna cover foundation, and then that's kind of be it, unless you got
Okay,
something else for me.
okay. Let's just check the questions. Uh, I gotta get you on Struggle Stream Sunday, right? Let's see. I was just telling Getty Radio Show that you had a Christian. You both have your companies, so all I can do now is observe you both. Yep, indeed. Stocks and crypto is best because it's true passive income. And yeah, regarding the crypto, it's good because I mean, you were saying that you didn't know enough about it yet, Tim, and myself.
Yes,
I've been studying it. I've been studying it for the last couple of months, so I'm just getting into it now. Like you said, you got to do you got to do your due diligence and learn this stuff before you really dive in too deep.
yeah, I'm adding crypto to my portfolio,
Okay, real estate all day, says
but I'm doing it
Marsha.
more from a long-term perspective. I'm not doing anything really short-term.
Yeah, myself
Mhm.
as well. I don't want my kids to have to worry like I did. That's right. I did that job. Let's see. All right, Alma's got her question answered.
Okay,
Let's see
great.
the last one. The intention there is traveling. Okay. Um, is traveling, knowledge, and financial gains what contributes to your good health, the positivity. You have awesome skin too.
uh, so my traveling, I have done a lot of traveling. I've been in about 9 countries.
Oh,
Um, and I think the overall key to sum up all of that is so my traveling, my knowledge, my financial gains, my good health. I like to say I think is my spiritual walk first and
mm,
foremost, but also I think it's because I learned very young to do opposite of what the masses do. Um, so for example, like I went rock climbing for the first time. That was last year actually, right before the
mm,
pandemic in
mhm,
February. I went rock climbing, And I was told because of I'm a darker tone skin, like that's not for me. But I said, well, since that was said, then I know it's for me because I'm going.
You like to do the opposite.
um, and then also too with the whole eating, I know that because one thing me and my mom talk about is the cancer people have all these different versions and variants of cancer.
Mhm,
When she was my age or younger, they didn't really experience it as much.
mhm.
So I said the only thing that really changed is the food. That's the only thing that really changed is what we put in our bodies. So because of that, I decided to be very conscious about how I eat. Like I said, I haven't had pork in over 25 years. I haven't had beef in over 21 years. So even before I became vegetarian, I wasn't eating beef or pork.
Mhm.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. Then also too, being a vegetarian, believe it or not, I put on 10 pounds of muscle since I've been vegetarian.
Wow.
So, you know, the whole concept of a lot of the stuff that we've been taught, a lot of it's just not true.
Yeah, yeah.
Because people always say, well, where you can get your protein from? And I have more energy and I'm stronger just eating vegetables and eat some plant-based stuff here and there, but mainly just I eat a basic, boring meal,
What do
but
you
I
like to
feel
eat, by the way?
fantastic.
What do you like to eat? Because I saw you lifted some weights with the I think you think it was leg day. You were
Yeah,
lifting
that was
some weights
leg
on your
day.
Instagram. What do you like to eat though? What are some of your favorite meals?
My favorite meals is stir fry. Just
Oh,
some
okay.
rice, some vegetables, mainly broccoli, peas, and carrots. That's my favorite
Nice.
food. Basic, very basic.
Okay, okay.
I don't listen. I like
Simple.
simple. I don't cause here's the reason why for me. But I think so it's little habits that I was taught because when I watched was reading about Mark that on Facebook.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. One of the key things is he said he wear the same shirt, same everything because that frees up his mind and he don't have to keep thinking.
Yeah. Who else said that? That was another techie person that says that as well.
Apple Bill
Apple. Bill Gates. Well,
Steve
not Bill
Jobs
Gates.
did that too.
Yeah, Steve Jobs. Always wearing the black sweater and jeans.
And
Yeah.
I can say that since I done that, cause now it's easy. Cause like I shoot my videos, I only wear t-shirts. I just got
Yes.
all the different colors,
Right.
and I don't even care. I just grab one off the hanger and just go.
That's awesome.
I mean, so really, it just really, I just like simplicity, but it keeps my mind clear to be able to
focus on
execute, make decisions.
that's so
Because
good.
I do work and I'm in charge of because I'm a manager, and so I'm in charge of 33 people on two different coasts.
Do you work full time?
Hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in charge of 33 people on two different coasts,
Wow.
and I have such a phenomenal team that they fight for me, I fight for them. Like, so I just think I contribute everything just to me just really just having an open mind, persistency, and leadership.
That's really great. Now you said that your next goal is to pay off your one of your houses this year,
Hmm.
and um and you're already a millionaire. When are you just going to continue to keep on going, keep on earning more? Do you have any? When do you want to retire?
See, retirement is not really in my category because retirement for me is only going to be because it's just me right now. So right now, my only objective is, and the most gratifying thing for me is significance. Meaning, how many people now can I pull up and bring up?
Okay.
So because I think once I stop, that's gonna be the day that I'm probably gonna get pat in the face with a shovel. Because I just think that for me, I just have the most energy to continue to do things. But here's the thing, I do take time for myself. So how I do things is, and this is another key point you may want to write down is, I believe in reward punishment.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I set a goal, and if I don't hit that short-term goal, I don't do it yet because that's my punishment.
Uh-huh,
But
uh-huh,
then
uh-huh.
I go after it again. Then once I hit it, I reward myself
Sure.
and do something fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like for example, before the pandemic hit, I would always set my goal up until July because the Street Fighter tournament. So I like to play Street Fighter. Okay.
Okay.
And I would always fly to wherever the tournament was and I go play. That was
Uh-huh.
my reward.
Okay.
So, and I would take a whole week. One time I took 2 weeks. One time I took 3 weeks. But it's really just depends on what kind I want to do. But I don't just do it just because I feel like doing it though.
Right.
I do it based off of me getting some results.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because you have to be results driven. That's why I can speak with confidence. I exude confidence. It's because I put so much hard labor in myself.
Mm-hmm.
See, because you now just looking at the end result, but it was
Mm.
a lot of growing pains, a
Of
lot of things
course.
happened that I kind of went through.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why now I can sit today and just be totally, transparent and totally confident in everything that's going on, is because I know all the work that was required to get to this point.
Okay.
So it's just seeing the other side. So, but my ultimate goal is though, for me, is just now just bringing people up.
So
Hence, that's why I started the YouTube channel.
well, on that point, bringing people up. Other than the YouTube channel, are you working with young people, or is it just the people that you come in contact with on YouTube? How are you bringing the people up?
So before I even got on YouTube, I already been doing mentorship. I did the closing at a middle school. I did the high school graduation for the graduating class.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say right now, outside of before I ever came to YouTube, I got 5 people that I helped get to a fantastic financial position.
Wow, that's
So
awesome.
I could just name them down if you want me to. So I got one guy. I started working with him at the beginning of the pandemic. Well, actually, we started working in January 2020. He came to me. He had he had $1,000 in savings. He actually did work 2 jobs. He had some lingering hospital bills, things like that. So he probably was maybe about $12,000 in debt. And I worked with him, and at the end of December 31st, 2020, he saved $21,000. He didn't have no debt. He had
Oh,
his business legal.
oh, right.
And now he actually got a 1099 employee now.
Oh, he's got an employee.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay.
So that's one. Now I got another young lady that I've been working with since 2019.
Uh-huh.
She had $42,000 in student loan debt.
Uh-huh.
She had a car payment, and during the time she had a house, but her in a breakup with a situation. So she said she wanted to move. So I showed her how to sell a house.
Mm-hmm.
She made money off the sale of the house. She started her business. She's a dog trainer.
Mm-hmm.
She saved about $28,000.
Mm.
And today she has no debt. She
Mm-hmm.
just made last year, 2021, she made another $26,000 part-time in her dog business.
Oh.
And now I told her that I want her to get a realtor license. She just passed the
Wow.
test on this past Friday. And I told her what I'm looking to do is I'm going to build a small team outside of my brokerage team, but my broker is going to be training them that now they're going to go out and we're going to go build something on the other side of that.
Wow.
So,
That's
but she's
good.
she's about to buy a house. So her and her fiance, they're going to be buying a house together. but he already owned the house, so I helped them get that set up so they can rent that out. And what she's
Mm-hmm.
going to do when they have a house together, she's going to go out and buy a rental property as well. So
Now,
that's another scenario. And now keep in mind now, no debt.
that's right,
Okay, so
right,
that's
right.
another one. All right. So now I got my best friend. My best friend, I work with him. When we
Okay.
sat down, he was $28,000 in credit card debt.
Uh-huh.
Um, he had a car that was on his last limb,
Uh-huh.
and he didn't really have no savings. Well, right now today, he's a year later, he's debt free. He got a car payment, but he can maintain it, and now he's already at $6,000 in savings.
Very good. Very good.
So I'm not just talking. All right, so I got more. You want more?
Yeah,
I
oh,
got
before
more.
before you go to the others, are you helping these people for free, or are they paying you something?
Well, no, because I'm building these people I built relationships with because they specially in different areas. So they help me out when I need help.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So these people, it's a good relationship. So for one, the dog trainer, she helped me out a lot because she helped me with a lot of the back end type admin stuff. So she helps me out with that. I have
Okay.
another young lady that she's a RN.
Uh-huh.
Um, I show her how to totally get out of debt because her and her husband had a divorce. He just bounced and she never heard from him. But anyway, I show her how to pay off all her debt. She was like 150 some $1,000 in debt. She totally debt free now, has 100K saved up, and now she's looking to get into her first rental property.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but for her, the reason why that was critical because she introduced me to a contact in another state that does flips, and he has a
Oh,
team, and he want to
okay.
partner with me.
Right, right, right.
So what I try to do is I try to connect the dots because for me, I'm not just about money. The relationship is more important than the money.
Okay. Got you.
Because if here's the thing, my time is valuable.
Of course.
But when I look at time and I look at relationship, that's more important to me. However, I know that eventually all the money comes later. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too focused on that now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I'm at with kind of what I'm doing. But eventually
Okay.
that's going to come because as I continue to build out and work with people, my time going to get less and less. And
Yeah.
I'm already kind of prepared for that because I'm still working with a couple people. Um, that I'm kind of working on, and I also got some other stuff that I'm working on too with my mentors because
Right, right, right.
I'm looking to do my first new construction too.
Ah, and that's what Lashes Journey is in the middle of a new construction right now.
Hmm.
Right, we're going to come to the questions, guys. We're going to come to all the questions before we finish, if that's all right with you, Tim.
So it's a lot. So I got a lot going on.
Oh, okay. Let me just see if there's anything that's let's see. We're going to finish in about 10 minutes then. In that case, is that
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
I don't want to keep you too long. Um. Okay. I have a lot of equity in my house. Is Getty. Should I sell it or hold it?
Well, it depends on if he sell it, then where he can go stay at.
Hmm.
That's one. Then two, the good thing is that's a great position to be in because I don't know if you know Getty, but um the tax exemption with the tax exemption, I don't know if you're single or married, but if you're single and you sell a house, you can take up to $250,000 and you pay zero in taxes. That's a tax exemption for everybody in America. The next thing is if you marry, you can take up to $500,000, pay zero in taxes. So what does that mean? So let's just say, Getty, you have a house and you bought it for $250,000, and today is worth you can sell it for $500,000. Well, if you sell that house at $500,000, you can get a check for $250,000 and you pay zero in taxes based off of the IRS tax exemption law. So should you sell now or not? That it really depends where you're going to go, and are you selling for a particular reason? Are you selling, are you selling because you want to take that equity and then buy another smaller home, downgrade, and then use some of the other money to start getting into investment properties? It just really depends on what you're trying to do. But if you're not trying to do none of that, then selling it is not going to really benefit you now because you still got to have somewhere to stay. But if you're
Mm-hmm.
going to sell it and downgrade, then you can now use that money to leverage in other assets.
Mm. Yeah, he said he wants to downgrade. So we're not going to get too far into that. Looks like you might need to to have a conversation. But what I want us to do before we wrap up is just to go quickly over the foundations, just to summarize. So I think
Hmm.
we I don't know if we finished talking about it, but we spoke about it. Well, no, we started talking about the foundations. Um, and then I'm going to let you go because
Okay.
we should have established a time frame. I didn't, you know. There we
It's
go.
all
So
good. It's good information. It's all
it
good.
definitely is. We'll call you back again another time.
Okay. Well, the foundation is basically for me is just making first taking advantage of your company retirement plan, 401k, 43B, 457 plan. Because if they match, you're losing money, leaving money on the table if you're not taking up to the full company match. That's the first thing. Then the next thing is I would say then go over and get the Roth IRA, and then fully max out the Roth IRA. Put in 6,000 if you age 49 or younger, and you can put up to 7,000 if you age 50 and older. I say take advantage of that. Then after you do that, then go back and fully max out your company 401k, 43B, 457 plan. And in that, you could put $20,500 into that if you age 49 and under. And then if you 50 and older, you could do a catch up and you could do, I think it is 27,500 doing a catch up if you 50 and older or 55 and older. Okay, so that would be the next thing I would do. And once you do those two things, then I say you got your foundation in place.
Hmm.
Why is this critical and why is this considered the number one foundation? Because retirement should be something we all like to delay, but retirement you're not going to get no do-overs. Because either one or two things, you're going to either have to keep working or your health going to change that's not going to allow you to work. So if your health changes and you're not allowed to work, then the next question becomes, where do you get the money to take care of your basic needs? So that's why I say I like to get a foundation set first. It's because you got to pre-planning and think about the future because we all don't one doctor visit away from our health being different.
It's true.
So because of that, we got to plan strategically. We got to play chess, not checkers. So that's what I would say is your foundation. And then when you start to really go above that foundation, then that's when it goes back to the gentleman that stated earlier. Is you're going to do stocks, real estate, or business, then that becomes the next level of your foundation. So now when you got both of those layered in your foundation, now your foundation is rock solid. It ain't going nowhere.
Mm. Yes, indeed. Thank you, the intentional millionaire. We do have more questions, but I don't want. I'm going to be respectful of the
No, we
time.
get. I tell you whatever questions we have left. Go ahead. Let's
Are
go
you
for it.
sure?
Yeah, let's go
I don't
for it.
want to be.
Let's go
Uh,
for it.
okay, let's just see. I think I saw one from Gary Gordon. What do you think about these financial programs to make money that cost thousands of dollars and promise to make you millions?
Well, I don't necessarily think you need to pay. You need to pay for a program that's gonna promise you millions until you at least get your foundation first. Because here's the thing: the reason why you're getting charged millions is because you don't know most people go in with no type of understanding of foundation. So
Mm,
because of a person's lack of ignorance, they're going to charge you more most of
mm-hmm,
the time. Sometimes you do got good, CPAs that will do the right thing, and they're not there for a dollar. They just truly there to help.
mm-hmm.
But we gonna have to go with what's gonna be whose agenda is more important. And I say your agenda is more important. So with your agenda being more important, I think that we should first start and get a basic understanding, be aware from our own personal level, then go to a certified person after we just become aware with how it all works.
Okay. Let's go to the next question. Big time drum. Hey, I am invested in REITs, REITs, like I'm quite sure what that means. Main and so on for dividends. Do you think that's a good strategy? Do you know what that means?
Yes. So REITs is just as investment. You can get a ETF REIT. You can get a index fund REIT. But REITs is a great investment. But still, the thing with REITs is they're still treated like the market, like you're in the stock market. The only difference is the category is in real estate. So you just get a REIT is just a niche type of stock.
Mm-hmm.
Or well, let me say this: a REIT is just a niche type of investment in the stock market, but it's still gonna get treated like any other stock. So if you buy a REIT and you sell it if you sell it within that first year, it's gonna be treated as short-term capital gains.
Okay.
The thing about REIT, you don't get none of the tax benefits that you get in real estate. So you can't depreciate stuff. You don't get none of that in a REIT.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's still a great strategy.
Okay. Um, Long-term investing is the best just for capital gains reasons, says
That is
Eli.
absolutely correct.
Okay.
Fact.
Uh, okay, let's see if there's any more questions. I saw your rock climbing photo. Somebody saw your rock climbing photos. um, Great show, great information. Says awesome in conversation. Um, Hit the like button. Thank you for that. Okay, all investments come with risks, says Luscious.
hmm
Okay, let's see. Is this a question? Thank you, Mr. Intentional. You are a wealth of information and knowledge. I appreciate you for taking the time to share. Say hello to your mama for me. Oh, she did a good job. Yeah.
Thank you.
Is she and your father still around?
No, my dad passed 2010.
Okay. So sorry
Yeah.
to hear that. Oh, Anton
Anton
Daniels.
Daniels in the house.
It's for real, for real. Anton Daniels, if you're still listening, I watch your show every morning at the Millionaire Morning Show. Oh my goodness. And Rita's hair was on point this morning. Rita's hair was on point. Oh my goodness. Is he still here? I hope he's still here. I'll let that go way too long without
Shout
go
out Mr. Daniels.
without scrolling through. I hope you're still there, Mr. Anton Daniels. It is great to have you here. Thank you so much for stopping by. Wow. Keep the likes up. That's right. Uh, I still work 9 to 5 too, says Getty. Getty's got some plans, man. Getty's making some moves. Anton Daniels,
hmm
salute. Anton Daniels. How come somebody should have called me if Anton Daniels, next time, guys, if Anton Daniels enters the chat, somebody needs to call me on the phone. Somebody needs to call me on the phone. We were so engrossed in that conversation. Oh my goodness. Oh man. I hope you're still there. Listen, guys, if Anton Daniels, if you're still there, please just let us know if you're still here. I'm so sorry that I missed that. Man, Anton Daniels is the man. He's the man. Wow. And Rita, of course. Rita, of course. All right. I'm so glad that you're sharing this information. Yeah, he's got his receipts. Okay, let's see. Not a problem, not a problem. Thank you so much for tuning in. Um, I think we missed Anton Daniels. What a shame. What a shame. I joined late. I own one home, no mortgage. How do you get the second property for income purposes? Says Sean. Hey Sean, what's going on, man? Do you want to take that intentional?
So how do you get the second property for income purposes? Well, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So Sean, the thing is, you got to identify now because you already have a primary residence. One of the things is you got to identify when you get another property, you're going to have to do that property as an investment property. And because of that, if you don't, depending on the type of bank or financial institution you're dealing with, they're going to require a bigger down payment. So because of that, you got to have the money for the down payment. But I say the key thing though is if you want to get another property for investment purposes, you want to definitely do a market analysis. Do your due diligence on what the rents is going for that property based on the address, the location, the number of rooms, things like that. But you also want to look at the price of the house, and what it's valued at. Because I say you want to definitely consider the equity when you go in, and you want to consider the cash flow that you possibly can get from rent. Because I like to say that helps protect you if the market shifts. And type of one and let me know if that answered your question, Sean.
All right. Just remember, guys, the intentional millionaires, the intentional millionaire website or YouTube channel is just the same name, the intentional millionaire. Go and subscribe to his channel, because if you've enjoyed the value today, you're going to find much more value on his YouTube channel. He breaks down his videos in short manageable bite sizes, and it's amazing. So Sean says yes, and he has also a show as well. All right, guys. I want to thank you. The intentional millionaire, for being with us today. I know we took a long time.
No, it's no problem. I really didn't do a time frame because I do it based off of, the audience and people asking questions, because I want to make sure people can, the goal is for us all to learn and all us to be able to benefit. That's really the most important thing. And I look at it as somebody took the time with me. So, the best thing I can always do is give my time back to somebody else that's willing to listen. And my thing is, I just want anybody in the chat just to make sure that you go out and start implementing some of the information. Don't sit back and just be the I like to say the information person. Well, you gather all the information, but you never put none of it to work. Because that's where the real glue happens. There's a lot of people know a lot of stuff, but the question is, do they ever put the information into action? Do they put it into action and get results? So it has to become actionable results. Because if it's not actionable results, nothing else really matter. Because we got to go off of the results, because the results give us the tangible benefit to continue to press forward. So,
okay. Well, the intentional millionaire, we really thank you for all of your time and your knowledge. People can definitely watch this back and get the nuggets that you've dropped, because I'm sure that it was probably too much to consume in one time, in one go. But we really appreciate you. You've done a lot for yourself and for your family and for your future wife. Next time we'll talk about maybe what kind of a woman you're looking for and all that good stuff.
Now we're going to Kevin Samuels 3.8.
But I'm going to let you go. I want to thank you so much once again. And I think what we'll probably do is probably call you back in the next couple of months, maybe, and just have an update.
More than willing. Just let me know whatever you need. We can make it happen.
All right. Thank you so much, Intentional Millionaire. We really appreciate you.
I appreciate it, MJ and Nation, and appreciate everyone in the chat. And let's do it big. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy, and let's make 2022 our year. All right, y'all have a
Absolutely.
good night.
Have a good night. Thank you so much. Oh, too. So we really wanted to kick the year off right, and we've kicked it off right with the Intentional Millionaire, who has brought us gem after gem after gem as far as knowledge, finances, investing, real estate, all of those good stuff. We really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and check my schedule because I believe that the major change group is on Thursday. Let me just check my schedule, guys. Let me just check my schedule real quick. I think we have major change group on Thursday. Yes, indeed, the major change group is on Thursday. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you and let you know what is coming up in the future weeks. Take a look at this, guys. We have let me make this bigger so you can see. Okay, we have the major change group on Thursday. We have Before the Billions on the 11th, Rich Live on the 13th. We have Getty Radio Show on the 18th. We have Marlene TV on the 20th. We also have the podcast, the business K business podcast, I believe, on the 25th, and then Frank Goodin on the 27th. So January is absolutely jam packed. We've got a wealth of information coming to you, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be totally amazing. Looking forward to a major change group on Thursday, talking about credit cards, how you can make money with credit cards, how to increase your credit score. Oh, so many good things. Let me know if you're going to be back on Thursday for more great information. Just drop me a number 1 in the chat if you're going to be back for some more great information. Now you heard it from Tim. Go get that money, says Big Time Drum. All right, guys. We've been here 2 hours and 42 minutes. If anybody wants to come up for the last 15 minutes, I'm talking for the last 15 minutes, you are welcome to come up. I'm going to drop the link. If anybody wants to come up for the last 15 minutes, then you can come up and tell me what you liked about the show today, because we have quite a few people that are still here rocking with us. Credit cards, I'm out. Any credit cards, I'm out. Listen, man, if you can make money from credit cards, you can do so. I'm making money from my credit cards, and so is Major Change Group. You don't have to have a balance, but you can certainly make money from your credit cards. If anybody wants to jump up, feel free to come up for the last few minutes before we get to before we can chill for the night. Let me know if anybody wants to come up. I'll play some music if anybody feels like coming up. Feel free, and let us chop it up for a little bit. If you want to come, feel free. Wasn't the Intentional Millionaire great? It was great, right? Super duper great information. Can you hear the music? Can you hear the music? Hey Sean, good to have you, man. It's the Sean Show. I'm gonna check out your other show. Come on, Sean. Come on up, man. Come on up, Sean. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good show, man. The information was solid. The information was solid. Definitely, definitely. Okay. I would, but the way my space is set up. No problem, no problem. You have to get your you have to get your studio set up, Sean. What did I just see there? What did I saw? I thought I saw. Okay. You gotta get a home studio, man, so you can go live anytime you want. Yeah. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. All right, I didn't wish you all a happy new year, did I? Happy New Year, everybody. Go ahead and do this. I want to wish each and every one of you a happy new year. This is my first show of 2022. It's going to be a massive, big year. And I know that everybody's going to have a successful year. I wish it for you. I want you to have a wonderful, successful year. So we've had an amazing guest, and we're going to be having really good guests for the rest of the rest of January, and hopefully for the rest of the year. Not only will I be bringing you tech tips in the areas of social media, live streaming, and digital marketing, and I will be breaking down some of the techie aspects of that in a very simple, non-techie way so that you can grasp it easily. But we'll also be bringing you some really great guests in the area of business, finance, health, and professional development all the way around. Okay, but we also need to stay focused on our own goals. We have to make our goals and follow them through, make them time sensitive. So, you know, you have to have a date on your goals. And we can all do that, but we have to be intentional about it, just like the Intentional Millionaire has said. Everything that he's done in his life has been intentional, and that's why he's a millionaire right now, and that's why he will be almost a double millionaire by the end of this year, 22. So let us make our plans. If you're not journaling, journal, make your to-do lists, and stay focused on our goals. I know for me, for one, I do have some health goals I want to fulfill. I have some more financial goals. I'm already, let's just call it, semi-retired, because I'm retired, but there's still more that I can do, and I'm learning a new skill as well. So there's 3 things that I'm doing this year. I want to make sure that I have my health all together checked, and I want to be really, really fit this year. My financial goals, and also my learning. I'm learning a new skill, which you'll hear about throughout the year as well. But community is very, very important. That's why we love the area of, you know, this YouTube community that we're part of. It's so important because we're able to help each other in growing our channels. So I really, really do appreciate all of the people that are rocking with me right now. I really appreciate all the subscribers, all the people that come into the chat and like the videos, and also the people that comment on my videos. So it's just a really, really cool it's a really cool community to be a part of, and I really, really appreciate that. And we need it, you know, we need community. That's why so many people came out to support the Intentional Millionaire today. You know, I know that some people came out for him, some people came out for me. It's great that we all come out and support each other. Most of us are very brand new. We're still very, very, very brand new in our YouTube journey, which means some of us haven't hit our 1,000 yet. Some of us have. Some of us are just a little bit above the 1,000 mark. And then for the watch hours, this is why we go so long on some of our streams, because we're trying to increase our watch hours. We have to get 4,000 watch hours for the year in order to get monetized. So we're all trying our best to do so for those who haven't done so yet. So, you know, it's a lot of work to do. It's a lot of consistency. It's a lot of dedication for our YouTube channel. But the great thing is, once we start to get monetized, that'll help us to go to that next level. So we're all striving to do that. Well, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the year, rest of the night, but rest of the year. This is kind of like my beginning of the year talk to you all. And all I can say really is follow through with what you say you're going to do for yourself, right? Stick to your word. If you say that you're going to do something, then do it. I'm talking to myself here. I'm talking to myself here as well. We don't want to let ourselves down. We're going to do something. Let's do it. And let us not let ourselves down. And then other people may be relying on you too. So you don't want to let other people down. But most of all, I would say, let's not let ourselves down. All right? Nobody's perfect. Sometimes you plan to do something. It doesn't always go to plan. But guess what? As long as you have life and you have breath and you have, you know, your health, you can always get back up and start again. Continue on with your journey. All right, so let's, as the Intentional Millionaire says, let's be intentional about all that we're doing for the year 2022 and beyond, so that we can achieve our goals and our dreams and go to the next level that we want to achieve. It's going to take some hard work. It's going to take some dedication, but we can all do it, right, guys? If you agree with what I'm saying, give me a MJ Nation in the chat. Give me a MJ Nation in the chat if you agree with what I am saying to you today. Let me know. Let me know what you guys are saying. Let me know what you guys are saying in the chats. Happy New Year, everyone. This was a great start of the year. Thank you so much, Major Change Group. Big time drop. Reach out to Anton to be on your show. Wow. I hope I could get him on my show. I would love to get him on my show. Great show, MJ. I'm going to reach out to him for sure. Great content, says Peter Investor M. You are an amazing person. I enjoy the meeting. Thank you so much, Jackie. I'm going to touch base with you tomorrow to continue our conversation. I want to check out where you are in your journey. I'm going to be helping you. So I'm going to check back with you. Junior Martin, long time no see, my friend. Bless you for this opportunity. I'm to listen and learn. Absolutely. MJ Nation, drop an MJ Nation in the chat if you're enjoying what you're hearing tonight. We're about to get wrapped up, guys. Great live. At least the part that I saw. Sorry, I had to step away to do my own live. Not a problem, guys. I know there's so many things. Excuse me. There's so many things going on. And just to have you with me tonight is a blessing. Okay? Have a good night, everyone. I'm going to call it a night. And it's just coming up to 11 o'clock. So I want to bid you a wonderful night. Have a wonderful dream. Have a wonderful sleep. And let's crush it in 2022. How you doing? We're just finishing up now. Little jam as we finish. The dojo of manhood. You guys are coming in late. We're finishing now. You guys are coming in late. We're just finishing. Yeah, I definitely want to have you on the show. The Dojo of Manhood. I saw you on a show with, who was it? Who was you on the show with? You have to watch the replay. Oh, The Intentional Millionaire. That's it. You was on with it. We've just finished with The Intentional Millionaire, and I saw you guys chatting and providing such value. We're gonna have you back for sure. We're gonna have you. I'm gonna reach out to you, the Dojo of Manhood. I'm going to reach out to you because the month of January and February, we're talking about finances, investing, health, wealth, all of those good things. So I will definitely reach out to you. I'd love to have you on my panel as well. And Forset Media, I rarely get alerts for anybody. My bad. Forset Media, was it you that was talking this morning about the movie? Was that you? Was that Forset Media? I know there was somebody talking about the movie that I saw literally last night. I wasn't in a position to come up online. Was that you? Was that Fawcett Media? Let me just see. I can't remember if it was Fawcett Media or if it's somebody else. Yes, that was you. Okay. I was not in a position to come up on the panel at this morning, but I will definitely camp up one of these days and chit chat about something with you. I really wanted to, but I was just rushing out. I was literally rushing out and I couldn't get on with you. All right, guys. Listen, guys. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be live. I want you guys to interact with me. We're going to have some amazing guests. So come up and join in with me. Thank you so much, Lascious. We are going to be starting the year really well. We had the Intentional Millionaire tonight. The show was absolutely amazing. So much great information. So if you can, go check it from the beginning, or at least about 30 minutes into the show is where we really start getting in. We really start cooking, as Anton Daniels would say. We're cooking, man. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. MJ Nation, that's who we are. If you're rocking with me, that means you're part of MJ Nation, and I appreciate you. All right, I will see you on Tuesday for the next live session. My special guest is going to be Major Change Group. It's going to be great, everybody. All right, have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful night.